Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for yet another match, the final match of tonight of Super Rugby Pacific. The Reds taking on the Rebels. We've seen two New Zealand derbies. Now we've got one happening at Suncorp. The Reds, they are a very tough side to beat. The Rebels at this stage, they are kind of rebuilding, but they've got some very good players who will be out on the field. Hope you guys are all doing well. We have got Kevin, we have got BDG in the chat as well, and then also Timothy earlier on, and Chris and Coop and Novmum here as well. But I hope you guys are all excited for this game. It is going to be kicking off in about 12 minutes time. We will be talking through the lineups, warming up the vocal cords because my voice is currently almost going already, which is not ideal. And Hamish is late. His BDG, I was refilling my glass of water, and hopefully my voice will last throughout this one. And also hopefully the Cheetahs smash the Pumas as well. And as a Rebel fans, I am not confident, but at the same time, anything can happen in rugby, says Amelia. Exactly right. Like we have seen bigger upsets than this game. I know that they're about $5.80 underdogs for this one. Hey, Aaron says BDG, welcome in to the live stream, mate. But we will go through the starting lineup and reserves for the Rebels in this game, and also the Reds, see exactly how they are going to be shaping up for this exciting matchup. Dane Zander, Alex Murphy, and Taniela Tupou, the Tongan Thor, will be there at the number 3. Now, he has got pure power, had a very good end to the year as well last year. Of course, that would be when the year was ending. But Angus Blythe and Lucan Salakai-Loro, they are going to be the two locks for this one. Angus Scott Young, Liam Wright, and Harry Wilson. Now, Harry Wilson, I remember his exceptional performance up against the Crusaders, which was recently, and that was in Super Rugby Trans-Tasman. Man was just flying down the wing, sold the dummy beautifully, and he will be hoping to use that physicality that he does bring. Co-captain Tate McDermott, he is going to be at number 9, alongside James O'Connor at the number 10. These two men, they are going to be keys to open up this backline with Filippo Delgunu out on the left wing, Hamish Jordan, Joshua Fluke in the midfield, and then Jordan Pataia, Jock Campbell as the other two men in that backline. But yeah, it's going to be a big one for Campbell. So hopefully my Satyrs, who won Satyrs or Canes. And yeah, the answer to your question is the Satyrs, the Crusaders. They did end up winning that game 42 points to 32. It was a good game of rugby, plenty of tries being scored. I recommend checking out the highlights after this game because you will thoroughly enjoy them all, of the tries that were coming. A few little bits of, a little bit of drama in there as well, something that you always seem to see for a few matches of Super Rugby as well. But currently going through the next lineup, it is going to be the Rebels who are in the away kit for this match. Cameron Orr, Jordan Ulisi, and Kabis Elof, I should say, in that front row. Matt Phillip and also Ross Hale-Petty will make up the lock duo. Sam Wallace, in fact, Brad Wilkin, and Michael Wells as the number 8. Joe Powell as number 9 with Carter Gordon at number 10. Now, someone that I do see that they haven't got in their squad this year is Magnay, and I'm not too sure where he's ended up going, but he was a very good player at number 12, so I don't know whether or not he's gone overseas or whether he's injured, but it is a shame to see that he is not there. Someone else not playing in this game, it is Rob Leota. He is missing from that fullback, someone missing from the back line. Andrew Callaway, the superstar, who has really broken onto the international scene as of late. Vaihu out on the left wing. Matt Tamo and Stacey Ely make up the midfield. Lockie Anderson and Reece Hodge, the other two players. Lockie Anderson, we know him a little bit more from the 7 side of things recently. And Reece Hodge, of course, with that very long boot. Suncorp Stadium, currently a little bit of rain falling by the looks of it, so hopefully it won't be too heavy throughout the later stages. And I knew it. And this is BDG and Crusaders too good in a low again, Hamish. It's Chris, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. So glad to see James. Yeah, hopefully can set backline on fire, Hamish. Says Kevin. Yeah, James O'Connor and also Tate McDermott. I called him the sniper last year, and that nickname lives up to expectation because he will just pierce his way round the back of the scrum. What is going on here? Okay, I'm just seeing the Australian sides for the Super Rugby. They have got kind of like a dance battle between the sides. I haven't seen that before, and I don't remember seeing it yesterday. Maybe it's new. But yeah, pretty much they just had Taniela Tupou with some headsets on, having a bit of a boogie, which I mean, it's an impressive boogie at the best of times. But currently the substitutions, that will be Nasser, Hoffert, and Ongoa will be the front row replacements. Ryan Smith, Fraser McWright, and Fraser McWright off the bench will be a very awesome player to have. Same with this man, Hunter Baisami, a little bit later on, alongside Spencer Jeans and Lawson Creighton as the other man for the Reds. Gibbon, Hansen, and Fangasi is going to be there in the tight air prop role. Nolan and Tamati Ioane is actually going to be as the number 20, a name that we haven't seen too often for the Rebels as of late. James Tuttle, Reinu'u, and then it will be young. This is a hard name. Tonu Maipea is going to be there as well. And also New Zealand Warriors, they're good. They did actually win that game up against the Melbourne Storm. I did say the best time for the Warriors, or the most likely time for the Warriors to be able to beat the Melbourne Storm, is preseason. Hopefully they can continue it throughout the season. I know Reds will most likely win, but I'm rooting for the Rebels, says BDG. So going for the underdog. Yeah, if the Rebels were able to get themselves a big upset win, because at the moment the Reds are expected to be right up there in terms of in that top 8. Currently, as we sit right now, it is going to be these sides. I do know that the Crusaders are also sitting on 4 points. I just haven't quite updated that part of it just yet. So they are in third. Hurricanes, they were not quite able to get themselves a bonus point, so they are down there next to the Highlanders. And that is how we are sitting after round 1. We're still the Brumbies playing the Western Force a little bit later on. That will be Sunday at 4 p.m. That game will be taking place. But Super Rugby, we have still got one more game for the night, and I'm very excited for it. I feel like I've had a whole heap of sugar because for some reason I'm feeling very, very hyped up and also very energetic for a long day of streaming that we have already done. But those are the teams for this one. Looking through at who they have got in terms of the next games, moving forward, the Reds, first of all, they have got their game next week up against the informed Waratahs, a sentence that I didn't expect to be saying for this competition. But the Waratahs looking the goods at the moment, beating the Fijian Drua, and that is who the Reds have got next. Then followed by the Western Force, Fijian Drua, and the Brumbies, which will be, of course, a rematch of Super Rugby AU's final. Looking through now at the games that the Rebels have got for themselves. They've got the Western Force next week. That will be the Saturday night game. That's going to be coming up. Fiji and Drua, 14 days away, and then the Brumbies, followed by the Waratahs, and then all of the teams do actually play off against the other teams twice before moving through what that site. It's beautiful seeing the Waratahs at number 1, and there's Harry Spencer, and also we have got there. Which game is it? Which game is it? It's BDG. I think Highlanders versus Moana. Says a BDG. So it was the game that didn't take, or it hasn't actually updated. It is the one between the Crusaders and the Hurricanes. And also Highlanders versus Moana. And also the games next week, I should actually mention while we are at it. We will go like this. We will go like that. And then we smack this button and boom, fires come up on the screen. The Chiefs taking on Moana Pacifica. Waratahs taking on the Reds. That will be actually a very good game. I hope you are looking forward to that one, Hamish Spencer. And then the Brumbies taking on the Fijian Drua. That is the earliest game, followed by Highlanders versus Crusaders, Rebels versus the Western Force, and then the Blues and the Hurricanes will do battle on the Sunday, the 27th of February. It's when that one will be taking place. But currently we are only 5 minutes away from the kickoff. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, before this match starts, your score predictions. Also, who you think will be scoring the first try of this match. The Waratahs have more than Super Rugby titles, or more Super Rugby titles than the Blues. And over one later tonight, this is BDG. So the next game, it is going to be the Brumbies taking on the Western Force. That is tomorrow at 4 p.m. I believe that will be 4 a.m. for yourself. And I think Drua the best chance against Drua. And there's his BDG. I think Drua have the best chance against Drua. I'm liking it. I feel like it either is a typo or you're thinking really deep about it and going, the Fiji and Drua are the only side that can really beat themselves. There's a little bug that is flying. I accidentally just crushed the little bug. That was unfortunate for it. I didn't mean to. I was just trying to move it. And also we've got there, my English is bad as well, says Amy Spencer. And also we've got there Reds 25 and Rebels 14, says BDG for the prediction. But we see James O'Connor there. He will be rearing to go for this matchup. Currently, the Reds, they want to get themselves off to a fly for this season. It's so important. I know that guy. Is that Drew Mitchell? No. I'm not too sure who that is, but he is quite tall. I think it is Drew Mitchell. It looks like Drew Mitchell, which would mean probably more than likely, if it looks like Drew Mitchell, it sounds like Drew Mitchell. It might not be Drew Mitchell. I might have the wrong name. Unlucky bug. And there's and I ain't know the Australian players, says BDG. I'll be honest, this Rebels side is pretty new to me. I did start to get the hang of the likes of Marika Koromberi, Leota, Callaway, pretty much everyone that they decided to get rid of for the season. So it's tricky. But hopefully we will be able to get some names going. I know the Reds line up a lot better than I know the Rebels, but we'll have to wait and see whether or not the names roll off the tongue. And Drew Mitchell is Stan Sport commentator, so that would make sense that he is there. And also I think the tour will get a try by Maul, says BDG, for the opening try of the match. Michael Checker at the moment, he is actually there in the commentary box, or kind of in the commentary studio. It's going to be James O'Connor up against Carter Gordon, a very young player. We'll be looking forward to the future for the Rebels, but currently we are getting very close. And rookie Rebels, as well, says BDG. Yeah, a lot of young players in this side, although sometimes the youngest players are the ones who make the biggest impact. My voice has decided that it wants to retire for a little bit of time. In fact, if I talk like this, it's going to annoy me because I don't like talking soft, but that's probably the best way for me to keep my voice. And it really annoys me. And also, that's not a good way to start the Super Rugby for them. Cheers, BDG. Yeah, anytime you get a early loss is really not what you want. Like, they don't have Andrew Callaway. They don't have Rob Leota. They're probably the two biggest men. I'm pissed about Rugby Australia with handling that Irish bloke. And I'm pissed about Rugby Australia with handling that Irish bloke. Who's the Irish bloke? Is that Ben Donaldson? No. Who's the Irish bloke? Hamish Spencer, do let me know. I know that there was a little bit of controversy around Ben Donaldson being selected at one point. But I'm not too sure whether or not that was. And also, Kiwi, next month, I will be a member, says BDG. So you'll be able to get yourself access to the exclusive emojis on the channel. They should have held him hostage for the Wallabies. Oh, Mac Hansen. Straight away know the name Mac Hansen. It would have been him, wouldn't it? Because he certainly, he's been tearing out for Ireland. That is the joy, and I'm sick, say 10 days, Hansen or whatever, says Irish. Geez, you're already forgetting his name. That's how much he is distanced from yourself now. But yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player. Plays for the Brumbies normally in Super Rugby, but he is there for Ireland at the moment, and he is trying to make a massive impact for himself in that side. Currently, we are sitting at a total of about 2 minutes away from this game starting, although the rugby games in Australia always start a little bit later for some reason. They don't seem to go early. All right, and also we've got the sweet as well from BDG. That was probably the worst possible way I could have said that. So hopefully it wasn't a mile away. All right, but currently we are ready to go for this next matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to say for myself, first try of the match, I'm going Harry Wilson. Just because I hyped him up so much in the intros that if I didn't go with him, then I would look like I was just talking a whole heap of rubbish, which is literally my job, and that is to talk a whole heap of rubbish. If I wasn't talking, these would be very quiet. And I'm also pissed about Nick Dolly. And there, where did he end up going? Did he go to Ireland as well, or did he end up going to a different location? Do let me know right there. I don't know why I'm rolling my tongue. Definitely because these games, like, we're not really going to have too much tongue rolling to do. In fact, probably hardly any. Looking through, probably only Elof would have had one. And I'll say, yeah, you butchered it as well, says BDG. That's what we do. And hopefully, pronunciation-wise, I'm still very early on for some of these names. And Harry Wilson is the future Wallabies captain. He's an impressive unit. What individual, Harry Wilson, I should say, said your last name there. But I feel like it's a tough one because I'd like to think that Harry Wilson will get more game time. But then when you've also got Fraser McWright lurking for the loose forward trio alongside Liam Wright, Angus Scott Young, etc., it does make it pretty tough to get yourself some more minutes. But hopefully he can kind of really cement himself. And like, I didn't even mention Pete Samu, Rob Bellatini, all the guys from the Brumbies were also right up there. Rob Leota, if he decides he wants to play in the loose forward trio, he's got his name up there. So it's a tough one. It's actually probably the most stacked positional kind of region of the Australian lineup at the moment in England. And there says Hamish Spencer. So Nick Dolly did go to England, didn't he? He wears headgear. Nick Dolly, I'm trying to think. He's kind of got long hair, kind of like Lachlan Lonergan, except not Lachlan Lonergan. Lachlan Lonergan playing in the game tomorrow, I should mention. How's everyone doing? Says Ed, I'm doing very well. My voice, not so much. It's kind of disappeared. I think having more than like a 30-minute break or having more than a 5-minute break means that my voice was like, okay, we've finished talking for the day. We're just going to cut off. We're going to have some sleep. He plays for the Leicester Tigers. That's where he is, isn't it? I don't know why I keep clicking. I keep on doing that, and it's kind of annoying me. I'm going to just put my hand down there. And also, there's a few Australians in the Premiership, and I'm scared that we end up playing for England, etc. And we've got Lewis Liner, who's already in that kind of process. And who do you go for and why? And there says, believe it or not, I don't actually have a favourite team when it comes to my kind of Super Rugby. And the reason for that is I'm halfway in between New Zealand, or no, I'm not. I'm halfway in between Christchurch and Dunedin, or in other terms, Canterbury and also Otago. So the Highlanders and Crusaders, I'm completely smack bang in the middle, which makes it very easy to choose who's the man of the match of the Crusaders versus Canes earlier. I don't think I do actually know, unfortunately, I assume it was probably more than likely, though. Who was the man? Amoni Narawa. I would have given it to, so I don't know whether or not. Tom Liner, thank God we got him as on there. Says it was Hamish Spencer. Although you didn't get Lewis Liner, did you? I think he has gone to England for that next one. And also, well, Hamish, I figured out, or figured all that commentary would take its toll on your voice. Says Sammy Souza. Yeah, eventually it was bound to happen, but for now, I'll start talking tomorrow. It will be completely I'll be mute tomorrow, other than the live stream. I think I have to really stop myself from talking too much. And reports are he is better than Lewis. Oh, okay, liking it. Does he play in the Premiership as well, or is he in somewhere else? Actually, he's actually in one of these Super Rugby teams, isn't he? Tom Liner. And also, we have got there from a little bit earlier on, one moment, we have got from Cody Hamish, why all sports New Zealand wear black dress. Both rugby and cricket, how this happened, pretty much because of the nickname and also because of the silver fern is the kind of way that it goes. So pretty much the All Blacks, the Black Caps, everything is based around either black or white. For ourselves, the All Whites, that's our football team. They wear white, surprisingly. And I guess it's just like that. And I know what maroon means to me. Even the Reds know what real Queensland colours are, says Mark Morris. And the Highlanders know what real Queensland colours are too. They were wearing it as their away kit. They decided to wear the maroon. Well, that one apparently he was impressive in the trial, and Liner plays for the Reds, says Amy Spencer. And also Stormers got another signing. Who have they got this time, BDG? Do let me know on players to watch from both teams. I'm going Harry Wilson. Also, I am going to say Tate McDermott. They are my two from the Reds. And then if I had to pick a couple from the Rebels as well, I realised this game was supposed to start at 9:45. They still haven't kicked off. And it's 5 minutes past 9, or 5 minutes past kickoff at this point in time. They're always a little bit behind, aren't they, for the Australian game? I swear it always becomes like a 10 p.m. kickoff rather than 9:45. But then for the Rebels, I'm going to say Joe Powell is one to watch out for, and also Reece Hodge. And then if I had to pick someone in the fullback, Matt Phillip, that experience that he brings, who's going to score the first try, I'm going to go with Harry Wilson. Here's the man, and the Waratahs are not bad anymore. And there's Amy Spencer. They're working on it. They're working hard. And 9,500 from tries already. That is pretty awesome that they have been able to raise that much. Who is it actually that is providing the money? Is it the Red Cross, or are they donating it to the Red Cross? And Joseph DeWeber, looking for the Cheetahs. I know the man has got Dreads ex-Springbok as well, so probably another very good signing to have for the Stormers. Who's their current hooker? I'm trying to think. It's actually an older fella, isn't it? If I'm not wrong there. And also, hey, but this time, or this kick of time is better than the NRL. The Scumbags kick off at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. on a normal Saturday. So that would be a 10. Wait, so that would be in 15 minutes or 10 minutes time, is it? And also, what do you reckon the game will be? Slow/fast, close/big points game. I would say this game's going to be, it's not going to be too quick, but it's not going to be slow either. It will be about that medium kind of stage. The Cheetahs or Stormers hooker. And there's BDG. The Stormers hooker is the one that I'm trying to think of. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. And it's really going to annoy me because I have been learning my South African names recently. And I think it's going to be big points. The Rebels are going to get around that 20 mark. The Reds, for myself, I would say get around the 40 mark. And then they will be walking off with a nice cheeky wee win. And Scudder Interbenny, that is the name. I think that was because I was trying to think of the spelling in my head, and Interbenny was never going to be the one that I did think of. So anyway, it's coming to 7 in Queensland. Oh, okay, so it's actually right. So that would be, I guess, an 11 p.m. kickoff over here. Geez, that's a bit late. And I want to do some NRL. I'd like to do some of the NRL, but I don't really know what teams to do because I haven't learned them well enough. So I feel like that will be something that I really need to do in the future before doing any NRL type videos as well. But currently the Rebels making their way out onto the field. And how's it going? Oh, how are you going, Amish? You're a bloody machine, or you're a machine, buddy. And there says Amish, I'm doing very well. Although, that was me who said it. I think you can tell how I'm going, David. My brain has gone all of a sudden scrambled. Who's that? That's the Waratahs. They're the wrong team. There we go. That is who we want for the Reds. We will show the starting lineups and reserves for both sides. Andrea said hi as well. Welcome into Lights and Scara. I will stay our main hooker, and Joseph will be our bench. And I can't wait for Paisami to run through blokes twice as size, says Mark Morris. And come on, Melbourne. And there says Xavier. He goes for the Melbourne Rebels. That is his team. Can they get the job done? Michael Wells is the captain. Thoughts on James O'Connor? 100th Super Rugby Caps game. He's going to have a big performance. He gets to lead his side out. He's got a little bit of swagger in the walk at the moment, James O'Connor. He's been around for a while. Suncorp, they're allowed more in attendance than any other or just in Australia in general, they're allowed more than us. And let's go. I'm so happy right now. I really hope that the Rebels have a good performance for your sake, Xavier, because if they end up not going well, I'll feel really bad. So, but I will keep on telling you exactly who has got the ball. I'll probably mess up a couple of the names for the Rebels just because without Callaway, without Leota, without Magnay, without Marika Korombeti, there are a few players that are missing from the starting lineup for the Rebels, but that is who they have got. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go for the second last match of this round, and let's go Queensland Reds. And who did James O'Connor play for when he went overseas? Says Xavier Brown. Oh, did he go to Japan or France in the end? James O'Connor. I'm trying to think of where he went. And James O'Connor played for Sale Sharks. Okay, so he was actually in the Gallia Premiership in the end. And also Nopone. Amasili going to be missing from this one. And also Australia has a no crowd restriction besides Western Australia. And also let's go Queensland Reds. And please learn the NRL would love to tune in to your commentary, says John Neal. And yeah, I guess the cool thing about the live streams that we have been doing is anytime we don't know a player or something along those lines, you guys always help, whether it's the pronunciations, whether it's like telling me a little bit about them. And I feel like it's quite a cool learning experience. That's why I've loved doing these rugby ones so much. I've learned so much from you guys in the chat. So maybe we do like a learning NRL, even though you guys already know NRL. Maybe we do some sort of learning thing for myself, how I can slowly learn the players and then do the commentary side of it. But it is going to be kicked off now by the Reds. They are going from right to left here at Suncorp Stadium. And we are underway. In fact, they're going from left to right. My apologies there. Going to be taken close to the touchline. And now with a bit of a run downfield, it's going to be Vaihu. Joe Powell have this one 10 metres out. Michael Wells, the new captain of the side. And also we have got there, I don't know if the Stormers can beat Connacht. Connacht beat Leicester Tigers, which are in form. Although Leicester Tigers, that's a big mistake from Carter Gordon there. Extra bit of pressure. He's spinning out of the tackles. And now he's put the ball down. I'm surprised he didn't go for the kick in the end there, Carter Gordon. And rather than going for the kick downfield, he puts himself under a huge amount of pressure and a side. And now they are going to be well and truly only a few meters out from the line. The Rebels that went straight back to him, Carter Gordon. He tried to take the catch. It just slipped through their hands. It looked like it was raining before the game. So I think that is why it is going to be possibly in this situation. A very slippery. Tell you what, the ground's getting torn up straight away. And also Melbourne signed a few former Aussie 7 players. So one in particular that I do know, Lockie Anderson, going to be out on the wing. And this is a free-to-air TV for Australian and Gem. And Jock Campbell was one to watch. He is the number 15 for the Reds. He actually had a very good finish to last year's season, didn't he? Big Taniela Tupou. That man is about as solid as they come. Like he's made of, I don't even know what he's made of. He's made of a ball of pure muscle. And he just runs and he just runs some more. And he's very fit for a big man. A good start by the Rebels. Says Shane, yeah, not the start that they would have been after there, but hopefully the mistakes have been made. And now they are going to be able to continue going, try and get themselves over the line. But so currently now it is going to be scrum feed. It's gone down in the front row on the far side. I believe that will be on the Dane Zander side. And Elof and James O'Connell played for the Western Force and Brumbies before joining the Red Swords on the 100th games as well, says Ed. I mean, anyone who gets to that milestone, even 50 is very impressive, but 100 is a lot of seasons put together. And Harry Wilson, rate pickup, I'm calling it, says, was Amy Spencer. I would take it because I did say Harry Wilson would score the first try of the match. So hopefully we are correct. And ball of pure muscle, says BDG. And also, welcome back. Sorry for not seeing the live. I was watching the Six Nations, says Betty. No worries at all, mate. I hope you are doing well. Currently 5 meters out here for the Reds, and they are going to be on hot attack. It's a free kick to the Rebels. Interesting. I mean, tell you what, Tate McDermott's going to have to be careful throwing that ball away. Daniela Tupou, a little bit too keen to get his scrummaging going up against Cameron Orr, gives away the early free kick. And Amish, will you do commentary for 2024 Paris Olympics to be held in France? Why you not do commentary for last Olympics in 2021 Tokyo Olympics? We actually did do some Olympics commentary, and we did end up following the sevens for the Olympics commentary side of it. So we have done a little bit of it in the past. Normally we stick to the rugby type side, but maybe we'll look at extending to others in the future. But now, once again, James O'Connor going off to Jordan Pataya hit hard on the halfway line. McDermott now, Taniela Tupou juggling that one. It was a knock on. It's going to be a big hit on Tate McDermott as OMG. Another Paddy. Yeah, it's a twin at this point in time. And also the Rebels have potential. Can't wait for this game to continue. And they're from Irish says it. Like, that's the thing. They've got some young, good players in that lineup. I believe that was Sam Wallace just making the big old hit. Danny Alatupo trying to catch that ball before he actually had it in his hands, which always makes it difficult. We have also got there from Crazy and Zia. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Currently, we are sitting early on and you're delayed. Says Xavier Brown, I believe because you will be watching it on 9GM. I'm on Sky Go, so it's about 30 to 40 seconds behind. So we'll have a little bit of that delay. So I do apologize if you are like a mile ahead of myself. And oh boy, scrums. And there says Mark Morris already. Is that about the third one that we have had, if we include the scrum resets? As they have women's NFL in the States, and the uniforms they wear are truly. Is that the lingerie football, or is it a different one? I know that they like have one over there that's like, is it? It's some sort of football. It was on ESPN a while ago, and like it's like if it's a cold day, they get a bit chilly, I would think. Also, they're literally wearing women's sport bikinis. That is the one that I was thinking of. Everyone like and subscribe. Says Patty. I feel like that's one thing that only I would do. Like everyone else who's watching it's like, wow, it's women in bikinis. And I'm like, geez, if it's a cold day, they'll be getting cold. We don't want that. Hypothermia is real. It's not a myth. Now Joe Powell be feeding this ball into the scrum on the halfway line. The Rebels, they want to get that early advantage going. It looks like they're going off the back there with Michael Wells, the captain. Joe Powell now offloading it back. Big carry forward from Vaihu. They've got the advantage now. Carter Gordon on the outside. I believe it's Stacey Ely played a lot of rugby for the Hawke's Bay side in the Bunnings NPC, going back for the penalties. And Pedos would like watching it as well. And I was like, I'm going to watch that. It's crazy indeed. That was bad timing with the clients. Just straight after the last one. Of course, they aren't related, those two. But currently now, offside penalty. Resodge, he's kicking for the corner here rather than going for the 3 points. I like this from the Rebels because last year, they did actually end up going for the 3 points a little bit too often, I felt. And anytime that they did, they just weren't really rewarded with the full availability of points. It's a great kick from Reece Hodge. 6 meters out now, they are going to have another opportunity. And from Aaron Spence, and also after Sharks James O'Connor contracted, not extended. He was thinking of retiring, then he got called up for the Reds coaching, or from Reds coaching, says Ed. And I always love a good story like that, how a player was thinking about hanging up the boots. It's like Martin Nonu. He was retired. In fact, we'll get to that in a moment because that ball is going to be going straight into the hands of Michael Wells, 5 meters out. Going back once again now. Floated back from Haylett Petty. This is 5 meters out, and they are looking very good early on, the Reds. Jordan Ulysses dropped the ball. The referee has said it's gone forward, and now it is going to be the scrum fee once again. But yeah, Martin Nonu, he finished playing in the USA. He came back over, and he was like, I think I'm going to hang up the boots. And then his side in the Heartland Championship, the East Coast, ended up, I think they rung him up, and they were like, hey, would you be willing to come play a game for us? We're on a losing streak. Would you be willing to come over? And he said, I'm only going to do it if I can bring Jose Gear out of retirement and he can play along with me. And both of those guys played for that match, and they won for the first time in a very long time. It actually started a bit of a winning streak for the East Coast as well, or the East Coast, I should say. So it's kind of nice little stories like that have a bit of like the backlog to it that kind of make rugby so special as well. Its defense is strong. There's Aaron Spencer, it is indeed, and now they've got a big old push in the scrum, and they have the penalty for them as well. And also, isn't he back in the MLR? I think so. It's given him a new lease of life in terms of his rugby. So he's back playing for the LA Giltinis, I think he is at for this year. Oh no, he might be San Diego Legion, one of the two. And Hamish, with your talent and speaking and acting skills, he's done a new channel reacting to funny videos with George and Isaac. I see videos getting millions of views reacting to funny videos, says Tony. We actually do have a Kiwi Lads Reacts channel, although we only uploaded one video on it in the end. And also watching the Giltinis, and then I'll make my brain explode. And there says Hamish Spencer, but the penalty going the way of the Reds. Really very nicely done by the Queensland Reds there. Why my DSTV always 5 minutes behind, says BDG. It's a good question. And I'm sorry, I'm putting you 5 minutes behind. And this is BDG. No worries at all. So if I don't answer your question for about 5 minutes, you will know why. So don't feel too bad if I don't give you one straight away. Because I feel like, or else you might get annoyed with me for not like replying. But currently now up onto the halfway line, Liam Wright. There's Gary Angus. Scott Young actually played his rugby in the Bunnings NBC for the first season, playing for Bay of Plenty. Hey, McDermott goes back to James O'Connor, looking for a bit of space in behind. Taken nicely, though, by Reece Hodge. and does take the mark inside of his own 22. 8 minutes into this game at the moment, and they are apparently good, but they were struggling against the new Canadian side. And there's Hamish Spencer. Although I guess still relatively early in the season as well, or I just focus more on the games, doesn't matter. And there it says BDG and also any overseas rugby you're going to stream tonight. Not tonight, but tomorrow night I am hopefully going to be able to do the game between Harlequins and Wasps. Wait, is that tomorrow night or is that tonight? I might have to have a quick look at that. In fact, that might be tonight. I wasn't actually planning on doing that game though, because I was going to be sleeping for tonight. And also, when you don't see my comments, I honestly think you have had enough of my bullshit, says Hamish. Now, it's more of the case of sometimes, like, I guess when you're looking at so many ones, like, in a row, sometimes one slips through. And if I do catch it, like, because at the moment, I can see about 10 comments, and then after that, they end up going up. So when it's a quick chat, or there are a few people talking, like, sometimes one slips through, and then I always try the best to read all of them. I hope Wasps will win. And I hope Wasps play tomorrow. But I have a bad feeling that game's today. Yes, it is. Oh, okay. They don't actually have Harlequins versus Wasps. Never mind. They have Bath versus Leicester here. Okay, well, that answers that question because I was going to cover the Wasps versus Harlequins game, but if they're not showing it here in New Zealand, I cannot. Sadly, I hope Wasps will win it today, says BDG. So instead, Newcastle versus Exeter might be the next one that we cover tomorrow night if we do end up being up at a random hour of the night. But currently 10 minutes into this game, no points on the board for either side. And it says today for 5, or for me at 5, at which famous overseas stadium you want to see rugby match most? 4. Okay, this is a tricky one because there's about 4. I'll go Twickenham, England versus New Zealand. I feel like that would be a pretty awesome one. That's another free kick to the Reds. So scrum time's really been a bit rough at the moment for both sides, just pre-engaging on both ends in Australia. Or Italy beat England in the other under-20 Six Nations the other day. There's Aaron Spencer. I did see that. So they're doing all right, the young Italians, and hopefully them making their way up through the rankings will benefit the men's side a little bit more as well. And it says today Exeter will win, says BDG. It's a good chance for them. And hey, mate, says James Gordon, welcome in. The Livestream, mate, I hope you are doing well. The Curry Cup also tonight. The Lions taking on the Sharks in 6 hours' time. That is a 4 a.m. start. Everything's at 4 a.m., isn't it? I assume that is why they aren't actually showing the other one. Sky Sport 9 has got the Lions versus Sharks. They haven't been able to lock in a very high one there for themselves, but currently now putting the ball in. Scrum once again, take McDermott, waiting for it at the back. It pops up. They've got the advantage now as well. James O'Connor with an attacking run goes out to Filippo Dalgunu. Has to run straight over the top of the wing. He can't get out of there. He's given away the advantage as well for not rolling away Liam Wright. Got an attacking run. Scott Young working hard on the breakdown. Flat ball to Hamish Stewart, who is now Ulysses trying to get on the ball. McDermott snipes. No, he's going to be cut off. Harry Wilson holding that ball nice and low. And they are continuing just hound the defensive line of the Rebels. It's only a matter of time till they break through. Jock Campbell's going to be doing just that. Drag down now. Floated back to McDermott. James O'Connor. How about your ribs? Are they okay? And he's not happy about it, James O'Connor. I felt that one. Oh, I'm winded. Hit hard by Wells there right in the breadbasket. And also took it on Suncorp Principality Stadium, Eden Park, and that stadium in France as well. Damn it, he offloads it back. Tate McDermott gives it off. Oh. The thing is, I actually clinched for that. Like, I tensed up because of that coming in. Straight into the midsection. Welcome to your 100th match, James. Kicking up for the corner now on my bucket list. It's Aviva Stadium. What a great stadium that is, says Ed. And also Suncorp is good, says Xavier. Yeah, apparently watching a game of State of Origin, like my mum said earlier on, at this ground is just absolutely incredible. And Newlands in the early 90s and Western Province 20 to the Griquas at their 22. Yeah, it was a close game right at the last moment. Western Province, I think, scored themselves a try that got them close to back in the game. And oh, yes, in the Aviva Stadium. Yeah, for me, it's Aviva, Principality. In fact, it's pretty much one in every country. Imagine that. I feel like that's my bucket list. Go to a stadium, a big stadium in each of the countries in Europe, and then also in South Africa. McDermott goes round the side once again, getting closer to the line. Is he on the ball there? I think he's not. He has given away the penalty. And because of it, I believe it's still just going to be on the side of the Reds. Hey, McDermott, he will be keen to go for it. James O'Connor's getting crushed by Liam Wright. It's getting close to the line now. Big Taniela Tupou. Does he want the ball? It looks like he does. Tongan Thor Says he'll be having some of this. Does he take it on himself? He actually passes it off to Angus Scott Young. Very unselfish from the big Tongan. Now looking to the short side. Taniela Tupou over the line. Scores the try. And Taniela Tupou scores it for the first try of the match. He's doing a bit of a dance. He actually stood on Joe Powell. Joe Powell is now included in the grass at Suncorp after being stood on by Taniela Tupou. The Reds try scorers. And it is big. Taniela Tupou. There we go. Spelling is hard. That's not how you spell Tupou. Tupou. There we go. I was looking at I did have it right. It just didn't look right. Taniela Tupou. He's done a bit of breakdancing. Stood on Joe Powell. Poor Joe Powell's leg. It's been munted. After that one, and also we got there. We're not stopping Tupou that far out. No one is. Yeah, that's true. Like, that's just pray and hope that he trips over himself type thing. And also we've got there Felipe in the chat. Welcome into the live stream at also Reds. And now what's home stadium for the Box? Cape Town. I think so. Or Joburg. That's probably what we got in Joburg. Is that? They do have a big stadium. I'm trying to think of the name. Loftus is also a very nice one. He is always scoring tries. It's Tupou. And there it says Xavier for that one. And currently we have got there, I've never been to Suncorp and I live in Queensland. Hamish Spencer, when I go to Queensland, would you want to go to the stadium with me? And I was like, shh. And then I was only I could stop Tupou. And I was like, we've got there. You used to see Origin game in Suncorp. What an atmosphere coming from a Blues fan, says Ed Vogel. And also we've got there, if the Reds win big here, will be for a worthy cause like the Crusaders in terms of the Tries for Tonga initiative. With a $5,000 per try, it seems Aussie 10s can only kick goals during Super Rugby. Brutal, but it's true. James O'Connor getting that one over. Who cares about those games? The Crusaders game was good. And these games, Crusaders game was good, says Shane. Of course, I mean, the Australian sides, we've still got to scout them out for their future games. That's a knock on from Resodge. Now, kick forward, accidental offside, I think that would have been. They're going back? No. Okay, now they are going back for it. And also we've got that and buff. And there's us, says Felipe, and also I've got there. If only Tongan Thor fell over celebrating, says Lex Axel there. Oh, little bit of push and shove. Okay. Angus Scott Young, he actually did very well for breaking that up. Oh, no, sorry, $5,000 or $500 per try, not 500. Or not 5,000, I should say. Yeah, that's another bloody hell. There says Xavier Brown, your handling error is just a little bit going a bit wrong there. And Australia games are boring. I mean, they can be if you don't know some of the players, but I see some brilliant matchups coming up here, whether it is going to be in that 4-pack with Michael Wells off the back of the ruck up against Harry Wilson, as I'll take McDermott, Joe Powell, two snipers in their own right. Do you know why Laird and Kellaway are not playing? I don't realise. Or I don't actually know what the reasoning is. And who is Tonga in here, says Felipe. I think we have actually got quite a few Tongan supporters, so you'll be loving the fact that Taniela Tupou was able to get himself over the line, the Tongan Thor, as he is known as. And also 5,000 for every try. I think it is 500. 5,000 for every try would be absolutely huge. I mean, already they've donated around $10,000 for an Australia to dominate Super Rugby. And there says Irish Spencer. But currently, we have got the game between the Brumbies and the Western Force tomorrow night as well. Or tomorrow afternoon, in fact. It's going to be not a terrible time for a game to be taking place 17 minutes in. And watching on Sky, says Felipe Tani. What did you think of that try on the short side? Do let me know. I had to change wife, leave him for an Aussie. He's out chip on a shot, and I was like, I would rather watch New Zealand Warriors. Are you watch? Oh no, they finished their game. I think the Gold Coast Titans are playing up against the Broncos at the moment and the NRL. Jordan Pataya, and the Warriors actually won. I saw that the Warriors bet the Melbourne Storm and off Atu, and they're Grant Mark, and there's seems like there's some tension going on at the moment in the chat. Filippo Dalguna, I think it was just a little bit of obstruction there. Matt Tamua, I never realized how wonky that man's nose was until I saw the thumbnail of my own video. And what a shot. And it says Hamish Spencer. But pretty much, I believe that is from having his nose broken. How many years ago was it? They ended up getting his nose broken. And that is why it is quite to the side there for Matt Tamua. What year was it? I'm trying to remember. I remember when it happened and it was brutal. Currently now, Joe Powell be feeding this ball in. The Rebels, can they get the job done? And also, Hamish, can you say a Tongan word? And there says Felipe, and also, I can drink 10 beers in 1 minute. Watch out. And Grant says the man landing on a live stream. He could choose not to watch his says Mark. And also, thanks, Hamish. Didn't watch Warriors game. And there says Shane, I have Sky. Says Shane there as well. So wait, did you want to know the result, or did I just spoil it for you? I do apologize if I did just spoil it for you. And I was like, hello, Hamish, bro. And there says Vishal, but now making their way forward and same. And Hamish, I told you Thor would get the first try. Says BDG and Taniela too, but he's done just that. Very impressive man. Backline movement now for the Rebels. And Wilkin making his way forward just a little bit more. They need to score the next try in this match. I'm at 13 minutes. So I said BDG, I'm currently at 19 minutes. So yeah, you're about 6 minutes behind it. That's going to be the advantage. Penalty now to the Rebels. Now the big question is, do they go for the corner again, or do they go for the rolling maul? I watched the Crusaders win in there, says Shane Hayes. And they did indeed. Very nicely done by the Crusaders up against the Hurricanes. Who's going to score the next try? I will go Harry Wilson again. Even though, to be fair, Jordan Ulysses is probably a good chance here. Give me my Kiwis now. I won the bet. Says it was there from BDG. I mean, if I could send Kiwi fruit by mail, I would. As long as you send me, what's it called? They said about how there's like a fruit on the side of the road, like that's sold quite often in your ahead of me, which is weird. And there says Hamish Spencer, it is. Are you on Stan Sport, Hamish? And also, so no NRL tonight. And there says Shane, so not tonight, unfortunately, for the commentary side of it. I still need to learn some of the players, so I'll probably watch all of the trial games about 3 times over and try and really learn some names. Jordan Ulysses, it was. I think 5 meters out. Ball still available. Going back, Matt Phillip trying to break through Salakai. A lot of those two playing for the Wallabies recently. He was down on his knees, still creeping his way forward. Joe Powell, does he have it? It's going to be play on. Liam Wright might have been able to steal that one. Or is he? It's going to be an advantage now. And also, Spencer Shame, I am at the game. And there says Felipe, whereabouts are you sitting? Do let me know. We might see you waving. Now, 20 minutes through this game, and Jordan Ulysses does end up winning the penalty for his side once again. I'm at 18. And there as well says James, that was Hamish Spencer. And also, how's the game looking so far? It's looking actually, I mean, it was a little stop-start with the scrums that we saw early on, but after that, we were all over it in terms of the pace of this matchup, and I'm hoping it continues to be a relatively quick game between the two sides as well. But Jordan Ulysses now will be going for this throw 5 meters out from the line, and same. And then the Warriors winning is like an imaginary drinking hole in the desert, a deception. Sorry, I thought of dessert. I really want dessert now. I haven't had dessert. I actually had a couple biscuits though, so that could be considered as my dessert. Maybe that's why I'm on a sugar high now. Rolling his way forward, Jordan Ulysses, only a meter or too short once again. Can the Rebels get this ball over the try line? Ross Aylett-Petty plays half-back, passes it back to the captain. Wells, big hit on him by, it would have been Salakai Lotto and also Angus Blythe. Bouncing back, I should say now. Wilkin round the side of the breakdown. Angus Scott Young, that's offside. That is offside. They have gone back for it now. Ulysses apparently still creeping for the ball, bouncing out the side. Joe Powell fires it back. Carter Gordon steps. Oh, he's been smashed in the tackle by Salakai a lot. There's some big hits coming in between these two Highlanders game. Too many mistakes. We did see quite a few in that one. And I believe something that I was surprised with was they didn't try that rolling maul as much as I thought that they would. As the Warriors playing, they did play earlier on up against the Melbourne Storm in a bit of a preseason trial match as well. Currently now up to 10 phases. This Reds defense is something that is very hard to break through, but the Rebels are trying their best. Joe Powell, they've still got the advantage. Now Stacey Ely, short ball to Resodge. 5 meters out. Still, they haven't really crept forward at all. Matt Phillip tackled low. They're saying phase after phase at the moment here. Still playing the advantage. Up to 12 now. They've probably only got a couple more phases until they go back for that advantage. Round the side once again for Wilkin. Another new advantage. So they've got a few more that they will be able to go for. Now Powell goes out to Carter Gordon. Matamua was intercepted by, it was Tate McDermott. Kicks the ball away while he's at it. And let's go. And it was a trial match. But good on the Warriors. Here's Aaron Spencer. Taniela Tupou. He's got a try, and now he's got 10 minutes in the bin, and Highlanders made too many mistakes. And also, Hamish, I'm still in donut mode. A donut would be nice about now. Wouldn't mind a crispy. what would you call a big donut? Just a big old donut. Taniela Tupou not getting back. It's the original offside penalty against him in what year? And then any NRL on tomorrow. There is indeed. One moment we will have a look and see who is going to be playing in the NRL trial one. That's not a big seat. That is a tiny seat. That is an extremely small seat. Whose idea was it to give Taniela Tupou a children's seat? Jordan, you at least see at the moment, looks like his ribs are a little bit sore. Let's go. Tupou in the bin. And also, I'm on chicken mode. And there. But for the NRL tomorrow night, I believe there's still some preseason at the moment. The Gold Coast Titans winning up against the Broncos. Tomorrow, there is going to be a game at 6 p.m. Sharks versus Panthers. And then a game at it is 8 p.m. And that will be the Eels taking on the Dragon. That seat is so small. So people in front row can see the game. Says Xavier Brown. I guess it makes sense, but it's still... Oh, he is just big. He is big, that's for sure. But like having a plastic chair for Taniela Tupou just doesn't sound like a good idea. He's sitting on a media seat. There's his own Spencer. In fact, about the NRL, it's everyone's game. Our club can be number one in preseason to becoming a wooden spoon by the end of the season. Trust me, NRL clubs and players are surprisingly changing fast, says Ed. See, I'm looking through and I'm considering Sharks versus Panthers tomorrow could be... I don't really know any of the players, though, would be a big one. So I'll probably be on the Kiwi Lads Sport channel just so that like we have a small group of you who can kind of help me through it. Do you think the Crusaders are a team to beat? See, Shane Hayes, I'd say so. They have currently still got some very good players. The Blues are going to be decent. The camera people sit on it low to capture the photos. Says Aaron Spencer there. Currently now the Rebels holding strong. And the scrum, Joe Powell trying to kick his hand there. Was a man down. He goes, Stacey Ely. The ball's bouncing out the back. Joe Powell dives for the line. I think he was short. I think he might have put it down as well. They're going to have to check this one. And also, he's like 135 kgs and 178 centimeters. So not overly tall for a male. And there says Nov Mum. I'm 178 centimeters, but I agree. I'm not huge at this age. I certainly don't weigh 135 kgs. I need a couple of myself to make a Taniela Tupou and Reds defence. And there says Aaron Spencer, still very strong thoughts on the yellow card. I think it was repeated infringements that did lead to a no try in NRL, bro. And there says Shane Hayes. And also we have got from the LOL mode. And they're just checking the grounding. Stacey Ely rolls round. He was held up by James O'Connor originally. Then he rolls the ball backwards. Joe Powell, I think that's been knocked out of his hands by Jordan Pataya, perhaps here. It was close to being down. Harry Wilson did well. Stop that ball from going down originally. Then Joe Powell from there. He's dropped that. It's going to be a no try. And if the Reds, and there's Shane Hayes and also the Reds defence with that one. And also I weigh 88 kgs and no try, bloody hell. And there's Xavier Brown. Although it's still looking very good for the Rebels. They've had a couple good moments of this one and try saving. There's Felipe. Yeah, very nicely done. I'm going to have a look through at the Sharks and Panthers lineups. See who I know. Right, the Sharks. I think I know Trindle. Panthers. I know Targo. And I know Smith. Oh, no. Peru? No, I don't know. I was looking through for some of those classic names of the Panthers. Like the man out on the wing. What's the man out on the wing's name? Who proposed to his wife or his girlfriend at the time and doing a good job. Thanks, bro. And they're from Bingo, Pickle, Mango. Welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you're doing well. Taken nicely there by Brad Wilkin. Good low jack on him by Alex Muffy. Actually, the leading try scorer in Super Rugby AU. Joe Powell's got that ball bump on him. And also not many starters in the Sharks versus Penrith game. So that would probably, Brian Toto, that is the name. Or Toto. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And also Jordan Ulisi played for my rugby club. And this is Xavier Brown. And also how Full is playing horribly. That one's gone into dark. Jordan Pataya, has he injured himself? I hope he hasn't because he has just come back from an injury recently. So how Full is playing horribly. How Full. How full? Is that our fullback? And can you watch the trials in the Kiwi game? Says Amy Spencer. I know that they did end up. I mean, that's an idea. Depending on how many of you guys can watch the game on demand, I could actually maybe do like a live watch along of a replay. Or it's not a live, well, it's a live stream of a replay, if that makes sense. Just because I feel like that's a good way of doing it so that you guys who do know NRL can kind of help me in terms of being able to learn a few of the key players before the actual game, since no crowds, no money's made. And this is Shane. Yeah, for New Zealand, it is tough at the moment. Only the revenue that they will be getting. Joshua Fluke carrying 22 metres out. Jordan Ulysses leaving the feet a little bit. I think he was dragged over the top. Tate McDermott going for the snipe. It's been tied up, though. Now straight on the ball for the Rebels. Turned over clean from Cameron Orr. Fired back into the pocket. And it is going to be their number 11 for this one, Glenn Waihu. He's giving it a good kick downfield. And it does bounce into touch. Brilliantly done. Nicely done for that one. Our fullback is playing horrible. So I believe your fullback is actually Reece Hodge. And do you if man? Says Felipe. Do I if man? What are we talking? It's a no crowds, no money. As late as I says Shane. And also land not game. And that can you do the trials Kiwi and can you watch the trials in Kiwiland? That makes more sense. And good to see a crowd, says Aaron Spencer. That is indeed. We have got them on Sky Sports Select over here. And I know, says Felipe. And also we've got their Panther Kingpins, Nathan Cleary, Jerome Luai, Brian To'o, Isaiah Yeo. At least that's all earning. The Blues jersey. The thing is, I probably know them from the state of origin more than any other team. Halfback, my bad. So that would be Joe Powell, who is at the moment not having his best performance at DF. There's Irish Smith, but now it is going to be the lurking left winger who does kick it way back downfield into the 22. And not being mean, but I hope the needed students party hard. Says Shane Hayes. Only now taken once again inside of the 22. Now Reece Hodge, it's close. It's out on the full, and they're going right back to where he kicked the ball from. And he's disappointed with that one, Reece Hodge. He would be. He's just given up a huge amount of distance for that one there. But currently now it is going to be another opportunity here for the Western Province. They're not playing. That's not a real team in this competition anyway. They're overseas in the Curry Cup. But it is going to be the Reds who have got themselves this. And why don't fish play basketball? I would say it's probably quite hard to bounce the ball with their fins overall. Plus, unless it's underwater, them fish do be dying. Hit to the leg side. That's the cricket term. It's hit to the side of the Rebels, I should say. They were able to snatch that one back. And do you watch NBL, lad? I don't, but I wish that I did watch more of it. I always find, one day, I feel like the ideal world would just be watching just all of these sports, not simultaneously, but being able to do a live stream for every single sport that we watch. And will Rebels score a try before halftime? I think so. They've still got another 4 minutes 40 of the red card, or the yellow card, of 10 yellow too, but I'm a fish, and New Zealand needs to open up. There's Amos Spencer there. Kick downfield once again, nicely done, because they are scared of the net as well, says Felipe. Very good. I feel like I should have saw that one coming, but I just didn't. Yes, Annie, I should be in the New Zealand team. There's his Marvin now, cross kick from James O'Connor, taken beautifully by Reece Hodge, but he just has to go into touch. No space available for him. And now was going to be Filippo Dalgunu considering taking the quick throw. And Test was boring one-sided in there, says Shane Hayes. Yeah, I wanted it to be a lot closer, similar to what we saw between Bangladesh and New Zealand, but hopefully the next one is a little bit closer. It was taken well by Reece Hodge. The high ball, pretty solid, puts the ball down on the ground. Currently 29 minutes through. And also remember there, you should play it for Tonga as well, says Felipe. Would you accept me as, what position would you make me play for Tonga? Would you replace Takalua with myself rather than having him at halfback? I think halfback's probably the only position I could play. Felipe Dalgunu with a good attacking run. I talk very quick. Sometimes now going back once again to Salakai Lotto. 30 out. Tate McDermott going to be looking for the gap once again. Liam right now taking the carry. Oh, Harry Wilson. Oh, I think Jordan Ulysses took an awkward bump on the head. I'm not sure whether or not he's all right. I think he might be a little bit rocked after that one round the side. Now, first time we've seen Ngor get himself the carry, and that is due to the yellow card. And which has the better jersey, Reds or Rebels? I guess it depends. If you like maroon, you've got the Reds, but I like the Rebels, how it's got the skyscrapers in the background of Melbourne in the kit. Kind of similar to what we see for the Crusaders with the mountains. Geez, that's dangerous. That was very dangerous from the number 7 for the Rebels, jumping right throughout the kneecaps and lock and fullback. Okay, so the lock, I'm 178 centimetres tall, but I can grow. I'll try my best. I'll just stand up tall every once in a while. Take McDermott now 40 metres out. Going back, quick hands from now Harry Wilson. Going up the middle, finds the offload. It doesn't bounce nicely though. And now it's going to be the counter-attack. Oh, Carter Gordon spiked on his head there from Angus Blythe, currently on the 22. Yeah, this game is back and forth. Both teams are Australia. And there's Shane Hayes and also Sup. And there from Reed Nichols. Welcome into Livestream and keep New Zealand borders shut. And there says Shane Hayes. Currently now it's going to be Ngula going back across. McDermott now. He nailed in the tackle. I believe it was Matt Phillip also just pouncing on another advantage in favour of the Reds. Hamish Stewart trying to go around this big defence. Ross Aylett-Petty able to drag him down alongside. It was Sam Wallace. And also, I will get you on the steroids as well. Says Harry Smith, and what is your favourite IT player or favourite IT player? What is your favourite IT player? I mean, that's a knock on from Harry Wilson, but the arm back for the original penalty. And what did you think of the cards in the Crusaders game? Says Shane. Oh, what one? Penalty try is probably understandable because you can't really give a penalty try too often without a card falling. Then the next one, or the first card against Ollie Jaeger, I was a bit confused by because I did end up looking away for a little bit of time. And then I came back and then someone was like, what do you think of the yellow card? That might have been you. He said, what did you think of the yellow card? And I was like, hang on, was there a yellow card? Jeez, Carter Gordon hit the ground hard there after Angus Blythe just drops him. But currently, Harry Wilson, he's strapping up his legs, going to keep on going out there. And also, Hamish did the Chiefs win. They did indeed 32 points to 22. Or sorry, it might have been 22 points to 12. What one was it out of those two? It was one of the twos, but they won it by 10. I'm pretty sure Angus Scott Young, Liam Wright, and Kalen Ponga played rugby 15s together in high school. They're Churchy boys. And there says Ed Vogel. And also, do you like playing rugby? I used to. I did actually. I spent 2 seasons playing rugby at one point. Well, my last 2 seasons of rugby, it was because I was a small kid, so I was out on the wing. And we had a first 5 and a fly half. That's the same thing. First 5 and a halfback. They didn't pass the ball. Like, literally, you couldn't pry the ball out of their hands to use their back line. So I sat out on the wing, touched the ball twice in 2 seasons. I scored a try off one of them. But they felt they were superstars and that they didn't need the rest of the team out there to be able to really keep on going. But currently now 32 minutes through this game, 10-0 for the Reds with a nice little lead there. And Josh had a good game. And there says Shane Hayes here, Josh Ioane, he did well because at the end of the day, like, coming up against your old team is never easy. And he did pretty nicely. I have a feeling Western Force win tomorrow. They're a good side, the Western Force. Like, yes, they've lost their Argentine internationals, a majority of them anyway. And also no Rob Carney, no Jordan Olawafella, but they've still got some good options. And we're going back for the penalty, and straight away now, it's the Rebels, all bit of push and shove there. Filippo Dalgunu, he ends up falling over. He's got a big smile on his face, though. So he did end up falling in a very slow motion. Can you shout me out? Straight out to Filippo for being here. And also, we have got there were a few, says Shane, and also there are tons of little that still do it. Says it was there from Hamish Spencer. Wait, there are still tons of little that still do it. What do they do? Like yellow cards or be offside? Or have I got both of them wrong? Jordan Ulesi going to the front now, the rolling maul of the Rebels. This is marching. Goes down and scores the try. And it is going to be, it was Brad Wilkin who went back, got that one. They didn't even need to use Jordan Ulesi. It was just too quick. And they just ended up going straight off the back. And the Rebels back in this game, Xavier will be a very happy man at the moment, I would be thinking. And it was the try for Wilkin. Was able to score that one. We will update that. And that's in the 34th minute that he's been able to score it as well. They're back in the game, the Rebels. And it was exactly what they needed off a penalty as well. And also we have got there Aussie teams hog the ball. Yes, I see. I kind of went between the two, didn't I? And it's 10:31. Says Felipe there. And Australia teams won't beat New Zealand teams. And also this team makes me so mad. Why can't we score win 15 and the biggest guy off and we score and we have the biggest guy on and 15 players? Says Xavier Brown. It's a good question, isn't it? I say no. And for our last touch game last year, I keep on dropping the ball, and that's why we came second for the tournament and no line out, not straight, or no try, line out, not straight. Oh, you can't give that as not straight. I think it's more than likely that they're checking whether or not it breaks off and becomes a separate maul. Oh. Okay, they're happy with that. It's still going to be a try. The try is good, and it will stay. Can you say pie? 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 I'm not too sure how to pronounce that one. Sorry, mate. It's probably a swear word, so it's probably better that I don't pronounce it right. That water was extremely smooth. You know, when sometimes like water just feels different. I don't know what I'm on about. 35 minutes down to my first kick here for Matt Tamua. And I was the only team that may lose to Aussie teams is the Highlanders as well. See Shane there. Well, I guess it just depends on where the games are being played and what kind of form. Like, because do you consider Moana Pacifica a New Zealand team, Shane, since they're based out of New Zealand, or would you say that they don't count as that? And do you give good financial advice? I do not really. I mean, I'm not terrible with it. It's hit the post there for Matt Tamua, and it hasn't quite gone over. Like, I can give advice, I just don't follow some of my own. Like, I'd be like, oh, okay, just try not to spend too much money, but then I go out and I get something, and then I have a thing. I won't buy things for like 3 months, and then when I buy something, I buy about 5 things, like all at the same time, like, which is not ideal, I guess. And I was the only team that may lose to the Aussie teams is the Highlanders there, but that's going straight up, taken nicely by Matt Phillip, and now they are continuing to drive their way forward. But that man Wilkin has been impressive for them in that number 7 jersey. Joe Bell now firing it back once again. Back across the back line, Carter Gordon. Research drops the ball. He had to dive on it. And it has gone back for the penalty. And also Shane Hayes was so negative. Says that it was there from Mary. Says that also we go there. Research with the tap on the forehead. Disappointed there, Research. And I support New Zealand teams. And there says Shane Hayes. So yeah, would you consider them counting as would you count Moana Pacifica as a New Zealand team? I was like, what does it feel like we're sitting in the holidays? And then he says, James, I'm always on holiday, and I think I spend good money. And I buy protein bars and a pack of 5 for $15. $15 for protein bars. That's quite a bit, isn't it? And because Aussie rugby is boring. And he says, Shane, I don't mind it. I think, like, it's kind of like the rugby is what you make of it. If you don't think you'll enjoy it, you probably won't. If you do enjoy it, like French rugby, people say that that's some of the worst rugby around in terms of entertainment. I absolutely love this stuff. Moana Pacifica, not a Kiwi team, and they're never going to let you up. Never is going to let you up. Is that never going to give you up by Rick Ross or Rick Roll, whatever it is? You're Rick rolling me, Felipe. It was a Tyrell Lomax. He used to play for the Rebels in 2017 before joining New Zealand teams, the Landers and the Canes. See Ed Vogel. Was Tyrell Lomax at the Highlanders? I feel like that's some information that I keep on forgetting. And if it's so boring, go watch NRL preseason trials. And I was like, come on, Rebels. I'm a Canes fan, but damn it, I love the Rebels. So here's the Coach Patch. Coach Patch, Medic Xavier. He is a Rebels fan through and through. Currently now on a penalty advantage here for the Reds. James O'Connor going through, almost taken, but Reeside just done beautifully there to cut that one off, although they're going back for the original penalty. As also, it would be like putting faith in the Warriors as well, says Jane Hayes, and get Rick Roll. Never going to give you up, or never give you up, says Felipe. You did get me, Felipe, there. Warriors suck. There says Shane Hayes. I mean, we'll probably cover some of their games this season if we can. Who do they play next week in the preseason? I might actually check that out. So who they are going to have, because they have got one more week of preseason and then they're almost into the competition. The Warriors, they play the Titans, but it's an overlapping game at 5 p.m. As Arnold's never going to give you up. Classic Rick Rawlings, Savvy says that. And also, over there, the Warriors aren't the only NRL team, says Shane Hayes, or Jordan Ulysses. His ribs are sore. Doesn't look like he's in a lot of fun, or isn't having a lot of fun. And how's the game looking so far? It's looking pretty even. The Reds are certainly making more meters in this matchup. They're going for the 3 points straight out in front. Yeah, it's whether or not, I guess, the Rebels can make the most of how close it is. Go watch that as well. And also, go, you've got there. Can you play HP? Or can you play HP boys? What is the HP? I'm not sure what that is. That one has gone straight over. And now the score for the Reds, it is going to be 13 points to 5. Go Storm, says Jane. And James O'Connor played for the Rebels. And this is Xavier Brown. And currently, next week, they've got a few good games. But Panthers versus the Eels, any game that has taken place on a Saturday, we can't cover. But the Storm versus the Knights, or the Sharks versus the Bulldogs for next week might be a cool one to be able to watch. And also, we've got my favorite NRL team, it's the Titans. There says James Corner. So they are playing at the moment. I do see they are winning their game up against the Brisbane Broncos, 12 points to 4. And HP is a laptop company. That is true. Can you play HP boys? Does he want me to play on my laptop? And why watch? Are you going to complain as well? And also, what did you think of the New Zealand Super Rugby games? I thought they were pretty good. Chiefs versus Highlanders, I think really, like even Sam Cane said, it kind of felt like a preseason game without the crowd, but they'll slowly get used to that kind of factor in Super Rugby. But I was pretty impressed with the two games. Like Hurricanes versus Crusaders, I think was the better match of the two, but Chiefs versus Highlanders still had its fair share of decent moments. And it means love you. And there says Felipe. Does it though? We're 1 minute away from halftime. I'm going to put that into Google Translate. And if it doesn't mean I love you, I'm not going to be happy. And now we're rolling forward here. Jordan Ulysses at the back. Currently marching forward extremely nicely here. Well, the Rebels trying to go straight through the middle. He might have his hands on the ball though for the Reds, trying to stop it from coming out. Joe Powell passes it back. Carter Gordon trying to pierce that gap round the side now. Attack and run from Lockie Anderson. Loves a bit of a quick ball. Definitely in sevens with him playing for the Australians not too long ago. In the sevens department, it looks like they are going to be going to the side now. To the short side, Matt Phillip taking big contact with Sadakai Alotto. And yes, Crusaders game was the best. Says Shane there. Carter Gordon going back now. Matt Tamua. Wide cutout pass. It's a rough one. Now, Vaihu almost able to get him around the outside, but Joshua Fluke with a great tackle. Made there, Powell, flat border, Elof, getting closer and closer now. Angus Scott Young, getting in that breakdown. Carter Gordon now waiting a little bit longer, offloading to Cameron Orr, little pop pass. They would love an advantage here, I think, would be crucial for them. Little kicking behind. Why? Why would you kick that? Who was that? Stacey Ely. That's not a good idea. And also, if he's I'm thinking the same thing. And also, Super Rugby AU was bloody amazing at almost all the games are tight. Loads of down to the wire kicks to win it. And the front, the force returns. What's not to like says, I had your band there. Exactly right. Like some of those games, like they were just like I watched all of Super Rugby AU last year, and like it's similar to the Curry Cup, I believe it was. How all of the games you never know what way it's going to go, right up until literally the final moment of the game. And that's only because the final whistle blew for a majority of those ones. Right. We're going to do a detect language here. And we are going to put in what he said is I love you. We're going to go like this. And we're going to go like this. Right. What does it mean in Samoan to English? We're going to learn this. It means offer more. Did you mean to put offer more? Felipe, because that's what it translates to from Samoan. It means offer more. And also we have got the year they did. But the Canes were very unlucky, and also it was a knock-on, I think. And then let me guess, did the Crusaders win? They did indeed. 42 points to 32. It was a close game. A good day all, says his Bok. Welcome in to Livestream I. Hope you are doing well. We're currently at halftime, and this game's still relatively close. Only 8 points difference. Rate both teams' performances. The Reds, I'll give a solid 6.5. I don't know why I went a half, but we'll go with a half. And then the Rebels, I'll give them a 4, which sounds brutal, but handling errors has been letting them down. Favorite try as well, says Ed. The favorite try for this one, I'd say Big Tanny Alatupo getting over the line, although Wilkin was a very nice try as well. Also, go Bogans. This is Lex on changing sport. Do you think any changes for second test for the Black Caps? I think they've got to go with the same side. The only player I would take out is probably Will Young for Rutherford. That was probably it. I think you can't change that bowling attack the way that they went. Definitely because it's at the same ground as well. And good first half. And come on, Red, says Aussie Mozzie there. in the chat as well. But currently, we will get some stats up for this one. And you go on Google Translate. Okay, right. I am worried now, but we will do one more for you. Never let go? Is that what it is? I don't know what it means. It means never let go. For a start, when I did have just a few words, it was you shall not. And I thought you were putting in a little bit of maybe Lord of the Rings and you were going to you shall not pass me. So I think highlights for the first half, I'd say it's probably, to be fair, Tani Alatupo scoring, then Tani Alatupo having to sit on a tiny seat. It's pretty cool. I was like, how is it halftime when it's been 1 hour? Pretty much we did start a little bit prior, but the game did start late as well. They actually started at about 10:50, or sorry, 9:50 or somewhere around that mark. So they were a little bit slower when it came to getting this match underway. So that is why it is a little bit later, and also player to watch for the second half. I would say if I had to pick one player to watch out for in this match, second half, I'm going to say Hunter Paisami off the bench. And then also I will go, I want to say Ray Nu'u as another option. But I don't know whether or not he will have that same impact as maybe someone like who's not tired though. That's a big thing. I'm going to say it will be Matt Gibbon. Because Jordan Ulysses at the moment is struggling with his kind of ribs, I believe it is. So he's getting gassed out pretty quickly. Every time he tries to breathe, anytime he tries to run, he's just getting the wind sucked right out of the lungs. Just never fun. Well, he's out, but one try apiece at the moment. Over 100 meters run for the Reds in that first half. 162 compared to the 66 of the Melbourne Rebels. Can we get this right and straight once and for all? South Africa is not joining any Six Nations. And all Six Nations management made a media statement that is to that effect. Media must stop writing nonsense. Yeah, it's just pretty much, they just go into that one of pretty much sitting in that situation. What was I saying? I can't remember. But pretty much if the media get any type of little tiny part, they'll run with it because it makes them money. Like, I hate media. But yeah, I'm in the media, I guess you could say. Different type of media a little bit. I don't think it's like, that's the thing. If I hear a rumor, straight away, I'm not going to say, oh, this is happening. I'm just going to be like, right, heard a rumor saying such and such. You can choose whether or not you want to believe it. And how good was Brody offload for that try earlier? That was incredible. Flick round the back. Said, thanks very much for coming. Gave it out to it was Narawa, wasn't it? And I was like, rugby is on tonight, says Shane. So we've got a few games of the Gallagher Premiership that will be taking place later on tonight. I'll let you know all of them. Japanese Top League is going on at the moment. And that is the game taking place between, never mind, it's just finished, that other game. But Sky Sport Rugby, we have got the Curry Cup, Pumas versus Cheetahs, Lions versus Sharks. Then in the top 14, it is going to be Pau versus Toulouse, Brive versus Montpellier, Castres versus Lyon, Toulon versus Perpignan, Stade Francais versus Biarritz, and La Rochelle versus Clermont. They are all happening tonight. Premiership, don't even get me started. It's going to be Bath versus Leicester, Harlequins versus Wasps, London Irish versus Saracens, and also Northampton versus Sale. They're all happening tonight. That's a lot of rugby. And also, we've got with damaged rugby of Italy, in Italy for good. If they get kicked out of the Six Nations, love Springboks, DT Sansa, I think get, as I said, Zach Sexel, and also we've got the handstand, and also Latte said, if you. And then will we see a red card in the match? I do reckon the physicality in the match, says Ed Vogel. I don't know. I don't think we'll see a red card. And lad, can you say something in Spanish? Says it was there from Ed Vogel. Spanish, not so much. Portuguese, though, I'm not terrible. Bienvenido de nuevo al canal de Kiwi Lads. I think that might have actually been Spanish. Hola, como você está? That's about all I know. And also we have got there, what do you mean? As CCO's got it. And no, if you laugh, says and also Red Steve Paisami on to straighten up the back line. Exactly right. And also, hey, says Morcake, welcome in to the Livestream I. Hope you're doing well. And on Spark and Sky for this matchup of Ty's footwork. Doesn't help his injury history is so young too. So on Spark and Sky, I actually have a thingy that tells you exactly what will be on Sky rather than all of the other games. One moment, we will go here. Super Rugby. No, it's not what we want. Right. So on this morning, they are going to have on Sky Sport 2, Pumas versus Free State Cheetahs, and that is going to be at 1:30 a.m. Then at 3 a.m., it's going to be Pale versus Toulouse. 4 a.m., they have got Bath versus Leicester. 4 a.m. also, they have got the Lions versus the Sharks, and then they've got Castres versus Lyon, and then also La Rochelle versus Clermont. And you bum latter, and also we have got there. No, if you. Says later that, are you doing the fourth game? We are indeed. How can you prefer Portuguese and Spanish? It's a long story. Well, it's not really a long story. It's just I was hi, says hi there. As Spark lost the football game, and do you reckon the score points will reach 40 plus? It's going to be tough. I said that the Reds would get 40 points here, but the Rebels have defended very nicely for themselves. And then also, I mean, the Rebels haven't exactly leaked too many points either. Just the one try of Taniela Tupou, and you're not really stopping that man, no matter where he is on the field, just the amount of pace that he's got. But Lata, hope you are doing well, even though it seems like you had a bit of an argument. I was like, how did you know? I know your dad is Santa. I mean, I hope you are doing well, mate. Who are you going for in this match? Do let me know. And who do you think will be able to win it? Australia versus Sri Lanka. Are you doing that, Sammy Spencer? I was going to, but then the Sri Lankan cricket community, in terms of their content creators, copyright strike everyone. We got a copyright strike for the Cricket World Cup because we were doing Australia versus Sri Lanka, and we had 30 people watching, and they were like, oh, not allowed that. We're going to ban you for too much. Bogans or Ishay, Hamish? I do like Bogans just because of the fact that I don't really know what an Ishay is. I was like, what rugby matches are you planning to stream? Says Ed, the only other one so far that we have got in our kind of plans, it was actually going to be Saracens versus Wasp, but they're not showing that here in New Zealand. So more than likely it will be Brumbies versus Western Force tomorrow. And then it is going to be maybe Newcastle Exeter tomorrow at 4 a.m. And I am telling my mum, and it says Lata, well, while you're at it, ask your mum who's going to win this game, because that's my question. And I bashed them. I put it on the other channel. And there's Amy Spencer. I mean, even on the other channel, though, it's going to be a tricky one because they just do it. They're a big channel as well. It's like they got 400,000 plus subscribers, and we have 30 people watching it. They're like, that's not allowed. Get rid of them. Because there was a manual strike as well. It was because I was wearing a funny shirt, I think. I think they got annoyed. And even the Six Nations themselves put out a statement to confirm that no teams we dropped or added to the comp. Says Sammy Souza, I should say. And I'll sue them, says Amy Spencer. That's the thing. It's interesting because at that stage, we were a monetized channel. So we did end up, I guess you could say, losing our one revenue source for 2 weeks just because they didn't want us doing a game that they wanted to do. So, I mean, you could try and sue them, but I don't think it would have gone too far because they were in Sri Lanka and it would cost a lot more. And it was worth it. How are you knowing? And there says Latte, and also, I know that word is not good, Lax Axel, if I'm not wrong. I'm going to go onto my Google Translate here. Wait, does it mean coffee? Does it mean coffee? I feel like I'm looking at it in the wrong language. Is it Samoan or is it Fijian? It might be Fijian. Where are we? Fijian. They don't have Fijian Translate on Google Translate. How can they not have Fijian? It's not Fijian, is it? Oh, it is Fijian. And thank goodness. She left as well. It says for the also we have got the, hey mate, your voice sounds the same as mine. I'm copywriting them. Says it was for Spencer. The funny thing is that's happened to us as well. We got one of our Big Bash live streams copyrighted by a Canadian and a USA sporting network, and they copyrighted my voice. They copyright claim took all the revenue from that live stream because I apparently sound like an American Canadian that they must have on a coffee. Love it. And then it means, okay, so it's Fijian. Is it Fijian? And NRL update Titans 12 and Broncos 8.5 time Cheer Bros. There's no Spencer. And also, the ever popular Samoan bad word starts with a K, meaning uncircumcised as well. And there says Sammy Souza. There you go. Learning more. And I was talking about that. It says Irish Spencer. We've had a few run-ins with copyright, haven't we, now that I think about it? And all of them are just stupid reasons as well. And also, fix your voice, mate, says Aaron Spencer. But that's the thing. They had to, it was a manual claim. So they went through. And the worst thing is they picked a part where they couldn't even like say that it was the music in the game or anything like that. Like it literally tells you what part is copyright claimed. And it was my voice and me going, oh, I think that might be close to out. And the LBW, yep. And I cannot say that, Felipe, because I do not want to get cancelled. And also Santa went to KFC and never came back. That's why you can't see him on a Christmas night, says James Gordon. Did he? George is Santa. And also, if it's not rugby and cricket, what sport would you consider to stream, says Ed. Okay, so I assume we're counting rugby league and rugby union in that rugby section. I quite like to do some football, to be honest. I actually quite like the idea of doing the Football World Cup just because I love watching it, and I actually play a bit of FIFA as well, so I know probably more of the players than I do NRL. As I wild to think James O'Connor made his debut in 2007, one of the best utility backs of all time, I reckon. All time, I think, he'll go on to have amazing longevity. Says, man, yeah, at the moment, 100 matches today is when he is going there. And please, no NRL updates. Unfair that people haven't seen the games. And there's his Shane there. And also, we have got that laughing from Felipe there as well. Right, I will try my best not to update you on the games. Maybe. Depends. And also, we have got there, do you know Sue? I mean, I know a Sue, but I don't think it's the Sue that you are talking about. Sue's a nice lady. She's my librarian. We have got there, it's Warriors fans every year. And then also, no need for NRL updates. When there's a bigger sport for that, at least for me, says Sammy Sosa there as well. But who is Sue? Oh, wait, no, is that Sui? Is that actually Ronaldo's celebration? A Sui? Yeah, okay. Yep, no, I read that properly. And also, it is unfair. The radio update score when listening to another game. And there says Amy Spencer and Ronaldo, says Felipe. Yeah, I have just worked it out that I was being a goose. And even here, we cannot escape the Ronaldo, says Matt. But now these two sides making their way back out onto the field, so we might escape them for a little bit of time, perhaps there. And also, we have got there, I think what is a bug? As well, this is Ed Vogel. Danny Alatupo making his way out on the field. Eye contact with the camera, looking deep into our souls. I'm not sure how I feel about that. That kid almost ran into Danny Alatupo. He would have been broken in half. And I also, Sui. I can't do the Sui, and I feel like an idiot when I try and do Sui as well. I try my best, just doesn't quite work. But currently now 13 for the Reds, 5 for the Rebels, and it's starting to pour down. We have got there the Tongan flag as Etzebeth running out for the Sharks today. I don't know whether or not he is back as of yet. I'll have a look, though, see whether or not he does get the opportunity. I'm not the biggest fan. And then there it says, is that of the Ronaldo or of Messi? No, not Messi. We haven't even mentioned Messi. Don't mention Messi, because or else then that gets into the whole thing of Ronaldo versus Messi, and then we're big time buggered. No, he's not playing in that game. Then I love Cowboys. And there says Felipe. Currently now Angus Scott Young taking that one straight away. The pants have come down for one of those players, unfortunately. And what time is it in New Zealand? We are sitting at 10:55 p.m. currently, and also and also be a Samoan name. I have all Sky Sport plus Spark Sport channels, and more tries for the Reds means more donations for Tonga at 10:55, says Felipe. But now will be rolled back by Tate McDermott, looking for the box kick, and does very nicely, 10:55 p.m. He's Shane there as well. Okay, he was trying to change his line a little bit there, Lockie Anderson. The ball has been dropped. He's really hurt his neck there, I think. Other players, we've actually seen more players landing on their neck and like random breakdowns than any other time. Do the Harlequins have do a straight gender match? Do the Harlequins do a straight gender match? What does that mean? And how this game has been quality or fairly average? And there's the screamer. I'd say it's been a little bit sloppy, but I think that is partly to do with the fact that it is now raining, and also it was very slippery in the first half. But they will get better, I think, both of these sides, just kind of warming up into it. Their next week games, I can actually show you who they're playing next week. If you are interested, one moment, we'll go here. I'll get my little thingy that I made. There we go. So that is who is going to be playing next week in all of the games. So the Rebels, they have got the Western Force, and then the Reds, they have got the Waratahs. That's a penalty now to the Rebels. I believe they will end up going for the corner here more than likely. Okay, so that was a penalty. So the hands down, then he went on to the ball, and they have said that that is not allowed, and that is why he was penalised. And also we have got there, can they let them get a try for donation as well, says Felipe, and also that Harlequins are doing a game this weekend, and also do you best Australian accent while commentating the match, lad, says Ed Vogel. I'll try my best. The more that I do my commentary, like normally listening to Australian commentators, I start to get that Australian twang just a little bit more. I'll try my best, but sometimes I do just sound like myself. I love it. Tongans get 4 tries so far, 3 for Whainā Nuku and 1 for Teniela Tupou. But now that ball's gone back out the back. Going to be taken nicely by Joe Powell. Now looking out, Matt Tamua. Going to be trying to go straight up the middle of the field, but Fraser McWright trying to turn it over. Actually come on the field at halftime. That ball's been dropped as a knock-on advantage. And that is going to be now going back for the scrum. Do you know a Tongan word? No. And also the last game mode game made a bit fair bit for Tonga. I love to see it, says Creamer, exactly right. Like those two guys, and I can't find my remote. So it says Amy Spence. So I hate when that happens. Like, does your TV, if you're looking at your TV, there's actually a power button on the side. I learned this after like a full week of not being able to find my remote. Turns out it was sitting under the TV, but we won't worry about that. You can press a button on the side and it actually turns on. Like if that is what you are after, I'm assuming what you just showed temporarily was next week's fixtures. Says Sammy Souza, it is indeed. I will put it back up for you guys. Have it a little bit longer. So they are all the fixtures that are taking place next week. And this one, which game out of those are you looking forward to and found it as well? And also, well, says Felipe. Yeah, and now Harry Wilson off the back going to be, and now Tate McDermott looking to pierce that gap. Josh Fluke flick out the outside. Jordan Pattaya kicks it in behind. It will be Harry Wilson was going after it. Jordan Ulisi now going off to Reece Sodge, who kicks it for touch. How was my Australian accent, by the way, Ed? Was it decent? And would have got 100 for Tonga if not for postponement. And also my game is 2 minutes behind, so I'm fixing it. There's Irish Spencer there. Nicely done, mate. Currently now, Alex Murphy. They have the line out throw now. 44 minutes gone in this game. It's actually flown by, and I can't find team news for Powell versus Toulouse today. Can you see what kind of Toulouse team is playing, please? I sure can, mate. One moment. Wait, does this mean you're going to be putting money on them? Hopefully not, but, you know, you might end up doing it right. So for this game, I could try and show it to the camera, and also I'm all caught up in minus 20 seconds ahead of the stream. And then I'm going to be at my mate's house. We're going motorbiking. Nice one. Right. So I can tell you the starting lineup is going to be, front row. They've got Charlie Faumuina at 3, the most notable. The Arnold brothers. Then they have got Tolafua at number 8. Jermaine at 9. Thomas Ramos at 10. Shuka Perez at number 12. Lebel out on the one wing. Juan Cruz Malia at the back. They're probably the most notable players that I know of. Aldigri coming off the bench. So it's all right, but it's not great. It's a solid team, I guess is the best way to describe it. Whereas for Pau, I know like 2 people. That's probably Tamua Manu, if that is even Tamua Manu, and then also Fiskia Hoy in the front row. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit. But what I can do, hopefully this works. While we're at it, what I will quickly do as well is I will go like that. And we will put that back down there as well. And also hi in the chat from 100%. Welcome into live stream while we are doing the commentary. Hopefully, is that clearer enough to read? I'll try and hold my hand still, but that is the lineup that they have got. As you can see, my hand is not very steady at all. I'm looking forward to my Pacifica hopefully being able to take the field next week, given once the all clear, even if they have to play the Blues on a later date. And that one as well. Yeah, hopefully we do get to see them in action sooner rather than later. And yeah, it's fine, thanks. And the wallpaper says Felipe, yeah, you can't kind of tell what color the background of that kind of picture is to the fact that it did turn green. Currently now, going to be 45 minutes through. A little bit of a stalemate at this stage. And also catch a ball, you must. Yeah, we keep on having drop balls here. But I think it's because, why would he do that? Elov just wet his hands. I would have thought you'd try and dry your hands here. make it a little bit more likely that you would be able to go over the line and maybe hang on to the ball, like we did mention. But yeah, it has been put down quite a few times so far throughout the early stages of this one. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated you guys all being here for these lives. And apart from me, as any of your subscribers a Rebels fan, we did have someone earlier on that was going for the Rebels, but that is now going to be the penalty in favour of the Reds. So it's going to be interesting, very interesting to see how this game does end up finishing, because we've still got another 34 minutes left of this matchup. The Reds look like they're slowly trying to rebuild themselves back into this contest and give themselves a chance at a bonus point, which they would still need another 3 tries to be able to do so. So it's more the case of trying to stop the Rebels from having any chance of getting themselves the bonus point. Currently, Alex Murphy now going to have the line-out throw here. Throwing Blythe up in the air, has been able to kind of take it. That's going to be... Tupou lost that forward into the hands of the man in the lock, or in the locking jersey. So that's going to have to go back as soon as there's a try or anything like that. Now it's going to be a scrum feed here for the scrum. Did anyone notice Taniela Tupou pass that ball forward to the teammate? And also, I'm a New South Wales fan, but when an Aussie team goes up against a New Zealand team, I'll get behind an Aussie team. Says Hamish Spencer there. Yeah, we are just going to get to see this one. Was it a deliberate knockdown? And Cameron Orr, I don't believe so. I feel like they should go back, though, to check out the original one, because I think you'll find that it was going to instead end up being a line-out, or in fact a scrum, or accidental offside. That would almost be a penalty instead, in fact. Currently now 47 minutes through this game currently. The Rebels sitting on 5 points, just the 1 try so far, and that was the try of Wilkin. I was able to get it. Is it Wilkin or Wilkins? No, it's Wilkin. Another penalty advantage there for the Reds. Tate McDermott sniping passes it. James O'Connor with the good hands. And they're just off the ground. So it's up now for McDermott. Filippo Delgunu. Guy Harry Wilson with them. Does love to step. Offload over the top to Angus Scott Young. Great hands here. Fraser McWright offloads it back to Josh Fluke. Flings it wide off his back. Jordan Batai getting closer. Dragging him down. This is just brilliant offloading work here. Almost taking it back. Now it will be Fraser McWright. Does end up getting wrestled down to the ground. I'm looking for a Harry Wilson here. Taniela Tupou, though, bumping off a couple. Still able to run forward, Harry Wilson. They missed the run. It took a little bit too long. Rush defense. Nicely done there by Lockie Anderson. It's a penalty advantage. I think he was up just a little bit too early, though. Now, once again, it's going to be James O'Connor inside ball. Great hands from Harry Wilson. Be able to hang on to that one. Oh, he's just reached out. Has he got... Did he just... They're going to have to go upstairs. Did he just turn over and go like that and put it down? And also we have got there, that's why Curtly Bell gets Wales and got yellow carded as well. And that's that was the most rigged game. And this is Amy says, yeah, that one up against Wales was a rough one, wasn't it? Okay. Has Harry Wilson just scored a try? He might have. It's a long arm. I think he's somehow miraculously stretched right out. I think Harry Wilson has just done that. Harry Wilson has just stretched out. His arm is the longest one out of everyone's. Well, he's just used his brain. Really is about the best way of putting it. He's thought about whereabouts the line is. He's stretched out. He's scored the try, and Harry Wilson says, "Thanks very much for coming. We'll have a bit more of a lead." And modelling over Joe Hager, yeah, I was sitting here like this, wasn't I? A little bit of Harry Wilson with the strongest, or the strongest. I can't change my mind. Says, but that was great from Harry Wilson. How did he do that? Like, the thing is, that doesn't normally work. That's really stunned me. Him getting that try like that, I think. James O'Connor misses the post, or hits the post, in fact. So he didn't quite get it over there. And Harry Wilson currently, they are sitting 49 minutes into this game, 18-5. I fell asleep. So here's Jake Lacey. Glad to see that my commentary is keeping you wide awake. Yeah, I hope you are doing well. Harry Wilson, that was a great try. And also Harry Wilson, the future Wallabies captain. There says Amish Spencer. He has been able to score. And now the Rebels, they are back into defensive mode. I would think Lockie Anderson made the tackle there. They are on the inside of the 22, so they are allowed to kick this one into touch on the full. Going back now to James O'Connor in the pocket. Just get plenty of distance on that kick, taken nicely. And the last thing that the Rebels want is any more handling errors, because we've had way too many. And I had a coffee and I'm feeling tired, WGF. And there's Hamish Spencer. Interesting. Have a Fanta. If you have a Fanta, a sugar-free Fanta. Oh no, depending on what time it is. And if you want to go to sleep soon, you probably shouldn't have a Fanta. I'm probably going to have a Fanta after this, do some editing. Now, once again, Ross Haylett-Petty making his way closer and closer towards the Reds line. It's going to be a good attacking run there from the replacement number 16, I believe it was. Well, this one, Matt Gibbon. Now pass back one more, Stacey Ely. Got backline movement down the wing. Plenty of pace now. His ankle's being taken out. Right, it was then number 23. Still going to be available. Joe Powell, rush on him. It's turning up nicely now. It's going to be dropped. It's going to be the knock-on advantage, and it will be the scrum. Thank God I don't have work tomorrow. Yeah, I just turned in. I had a nap after the Crusaders, but my phone went flat. For my alarm, says Jake. I hate when that happens. Anytime you guys ever find you're like going to sleep, but you're trying to be on your phone and you're just sitting there like, and it just doesn't work. And then you drop your phone and then your phone dies because you left it open, and then your alarm doesn't go off and you wake up like 3 hours late when you're supposed to be editing. That is my life. And I was like, I don't have work at all next weekend. A bloody hell, we're so bad. Will we ever be good? Says Xavier. I'm still optimistic. It's their first game. It's raining big time. Hopefully they can get the job done in the future. And also we have got there. I don't know if this is just mean, but the time seems slow on this game. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Compared to New Zealand, like for that Crusaders, no, in fact, that Chiefs first half up against the Highlanders, that game went and it was gone. This one's a little bit slower. You must be relieved not to do any matches early, very early in the morning. I am a bit, although I know that next weekend the Six Nations is back. And it's going to be a couple big days. I'm going to have to do my schedule. I'll actually do my schedule tonight. I'm going to try and be organised. And you reckon we beat the Force next week at home. Can I get back to you after the game tomorrow between the Force and the Brumbies? Just because I feel like seeing them in action for the Force will tell me a little bit more. It's absolutely pouring down, though, which is never too nice. The conditions. It's only 8 in Queensland as well. And also, what's your day job? How do you earn money, if you don't mind me asking? Says Jake. So pretty much at the moment, this is actually my day job. I do YouTube full time, even though it's always a weird one to explain because it's a full-time job on a not even part-time income. But because during school, I did actually do quite a bit of work, like as a part-time job while I was at school, just earning a little bit of money. I've been using that money that I did manage to save up to be able to do this as my job type thing. So it's at the stage now how within the next little while, I probably will have to go out and get a job so that I can keep on doing this kind of, I guess, consistently. But yeah, at this stage, I'm doing this full time. It's going all right. I would say overall, I'm just having a lot of fun like that. And at the end of the day, I think that's well and truly worth it. Getting to talk to all you guys each day, for me is just absolutely awesome as well. And also, I fell asleep this afternoon and woke up right before the Crusaders game and become a greenkeeper, bro. Says Hamish Spencer, there is a golf course just up the road. Our greenkeeper, tell you what, Hamish, you should come work here. He gets paid very well. It's not a bad job, says Hamish Spencer. And the thing is, our greenkeeper, he gets the wage, but it's all the volunteers that do the mowing. But you didn't hear that from me. That's going up over the top now, bouncing up nicely, and the Rebels have got this ball back. Arena options, New Zealand as well. And I also never asked you about Malakai Fekitoa becoming a Munster man next season. Good signing. It's kind of going an interesting signing. I think I'll have to see him in action after that shoulder injury that he did have for the Wasps that kept him out for about 9 months. But it's going to be interesting seeing how he goes. Felipe Dalgunu not taking that one too nicely. To go backwards though, and Joshua Flute there Going to be forced into touch. Michael Wells with a big hit on him. It is literally very, very, very wet at the moment there. Like, the rain is absolutely bucketing down. The crowd don't care, which is absolutely awesome to see. It's probably quite hot there at the moment as well. And that's the only company I know that work in New Zealand that is in Australia as well for green options. I know that George really wants to start up a lawn mowing business. And we've actually got a quote from an old video that involved lawn mowing service. That's another knock on at the line out from, it was James Tuttle who puts that one down. It's just brutal at the moment for the Rebels. Every time they're almost there, handling error or penalty against them, something along those lines. Like, they get in, that's a hard job, winning the line out. And they were able to do that one quite nicely, but then they end up putting the ball down, and then the problems start to occur. But currently now it will be a scrum option for the Reds. And start the business with you. Or with you. Can be office the worker. And there says Aaron Spencer. But yeah, pretty much like his job at this point in time, he works for his dad's contracting business type thing. So they like mow like bigger fields and paddocks, and then they do like the chopping and the kind of baling and everything along those lines to do with silage. So I feel like it would be a job that he would love it. And the office worker, you and George, and there, I feel like the thing is, it would be an interesting one to see how it does go. Is that true, Xavier? Well, that might be only 55 minutes into this game. 25 minutes left. That one's going to be now just a slip off from Angus Garner. I think Daniel Tupou's talking all about it, work for his dad. And there's his Aaron Spencer. I mean, I could, but I don't know whether or not they do normally hire people in New Zealand. They normally get Irish workers who kind of come over for the off season. And also, why is that player on the sideline wearing glad wrap? It's a good question. I think it's just to hold the ice pack in, and I can't see his messages in there. Have you got all chat on or just live chat? Because I think if you have all chat, I think it's called, that's a penalty to the Rebels. Nice. Nicely done there. Changing the mind. Daniela Tupou's going, oh man, come on. That's not true. He's an angry boy at the moment. He scored a try. He's got a yellow card. He's given away penalties. He's done some big hits. He's had a big day. Daniela Tupou. And also most workers, more client, or more workers, more clients. That's true. That is true. But yeah, I think the hours that George does straight away, like the amount of times I would have liked to have YouTube round for, or not YouTube round, have George round to film YouTube videos. Like anytime it's sunny, he's mowing. So like even if that's in the middle of the night. So I think to do YouTube and it combined, it would have to be very lenient, which is why like when I do get a job, I'll have to find a job that I can do on days like without the YouTube side of it. Because I know it sounds like weird that I'm saying that my commitment at this stage is more YouTube than a job, but I always find that this, like in terms of like enjoyment level, is like just right up there. And I've worked for about 4 other companies as well. And I say, if you work my times, you could easily still do YouTube. See, Aaron Spencer, wait, you get up at 4 a.m., don't you? That's quite early by yourself. Currently, another handling error from the Rebels by the looks of it. Not ideal at the moment for them. But currently, I mean, if we can see one more try, but you would be restricted to doing the Europe games. And yeah, says Aaron Spencer. See, that's a tough one because I feel like Super Rugby is kind of what we started on and kind of built ourselves up on as well. Rugby Championship. Love the Rugby Championship. Yeah, but finish at 1. And then says Aaron Spencer. I mean, I could ask my dad because he's a builder. But then currently that's the other side of it. Building at the moment is an industry that's struggling because of all of the timber going overseas here in New Zealand. You consider doing going to varsity, Hamish, study broadcasting. Says David the Mott. It could be an option. It's going to be a penalty. Now, once again to the Reds. But yeah, it would be kind of cool. But then I always find for that side of it, it's like I'm trying to work out what side of broadcasting I like to go down, whether or not it would be kind of more of the like being there doing the commentary, or whether it's from a distance doing the commentary. because I love the interaction side of these. So I guess, yeah, it's an interesting one. I have got one other thing that I'm doing at the moment in terms of slightly working / experiencing type thing, which is actually I am providing. I won't tell you guys whereabouts it's going just for now, since it's still early on, but it is actually, I'm pretty much providing table tennis commentary for a competition that's in India that's going on. Believe it or not, don't know how the tie came in, but yeah, it's how it happens. I am currently doing that. Harry Wilson, once again with a good attack and run. Fraser McWright gets the ball popped up, and also got an email from a younger school saying, there's confirmed case he isn't a close contact, though. I just have to keep an eye on him for any symptoms as well. And also there's a shortage of mechanics in Australia, and also plenty hot chicks at university. And there says David the Mod, is that BS to me, Hamish Spencer, or something else? I feel like mechanic is certainly not something that I would have the capabilities of being able to do. But Hanley here is 6 so far from the Rebels in the second half. It's become very stop-start in this game compared to the first half, but it's just absolutely pouring. No one can hang on to the ball at the moment. Offloads, it's sitting on 9 for the Reds compared to the 4 of the Rebels, and currently still 13 points difference between these two sides. Till 20 minutes, so who knows? Something might happen late in this game that might see a little bit of a late tail in the tape. It seems like it's going to be pretty much just straight back and forth with the penalties, though. It's going to be another one going, hey, I know him. That's Suliasi Vunivalu. And also you're doing commentary for an Indian table tennis comp. As I says Aaron Spencer, believe it or not, or it's not live commentary, but it's like highlight, like voiceover commentary, if that makes sense. So pretty much they send me the footage of the competition. I edit it down, add a voiceover, send it back to them, and then they put it out where they put it out. I feel like because I smiled, you'll think that I'm lying, but like it's not a big competition. Like it's a small one. It's a local competition that they hold each week. Like it's not like big time. Like geez, there's like money or like anything like that. Like huge money on the line for the competitors. It's just pretty much like it's a casual competition in a village that I have been providing commentary for. And also we have got there, surely you get paid. As I see Sammy speaks, so there is a little bit of payment involved with that one. So I guess it's my first paid commentary gig other than YouTube, which is kind of cool. And also you're commentating table tennis game as well. And I believe he says David the Mod. And I think that is why, if you guys remember a few weeks ago, when I was asking if anyone knew anything about table tennis, because I had no idea what I was supposed to say for it. So I've had to study up as well. I would only do that if I got paid. Says Hamish Spencer there. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on behind the scenes at the moment. So it's either weekly or bi-weekly, depending on whether or not they do end up kind of recording it type thing. But yeah, something I've been up to outside of YouTube. I keep you guys informed of what's happening. That's probably about it. Because that's right, I remember that says David the Mod. So yeah, I had no idea. So I was hoping someone was like an expert table tennis analyst, like without them knowing, so that I could just be like, yeah, so what's this called? Just because, yeah, the terms and whatnot, a bit tricky overall. But now it's going to be firing back. Angus Young, dropping that one on Angus Scott Young, I should say. And now the Rebels looking for the counter-attack. It's going to be their number 22, Ranu. Did end up slipping over once again. Matt Phillip now offloading it out the back. Vaihu in the halfway line. Can we get a try in the second half? Or another try, I should say, as well. And a very nice shot. It was a hard one as well. And fortnightly, not bi-weekly. What's bi-weekly? That's the wrong thing, isn't it? Bi-weekly. What's bi-weekly? Don't know. But yeah, fortnightly is what I did mean. That one. And yeah, I mean, I just say the randomest stuff pretty much. Like they don't have they don't have rules or anything like that in terms of what I'm allowed to say and what I can't say, as long as I guess I don't just swear flat out. So yeah, I can just say I'll heap of random stuff. Like there's one guy who speaks zero English, who yells every time he misses the ball. So just, you talk about that, and yeah, they just keep on sending them over. I'm not sure whether or not I have got one to do this week. Or whether they did end up maybe missing out on the filming. But yeah, I just pretty much get it sent to my Google Drive and then I go from there. Yeah, no, I haven't got one this week at this point in time, unless, of course, I get a message from him a little bit later on. But currently now 40 meters out. And also we have got there, is the table tennis at least good for you? I do like it. It's kind of like, it's a little bit, oh, that's going out on the full. He's going to be going back to where he kicked from. It's like you get to know the personalities of the people who are playing. Like, it's not so much as like everyone playing like it's all serious. Like, they've all got their little things. Is it on YouTube? Are we permitted to watch? Says David the Mod. I think it might be on YouTube somewhere. He did end up, I think he shares it in a WhatsApp group for a start. But it might be on YouTube somewhere around. I'll have to try and find it as well for you guys. But yeah, pretty much it's just like an 8-minute video each week, and I just end up doing a bit of commentary, send it back to him, like, because it sends about like maybe 30 minutes of footage, and I just squish it down, send it back. Enough, done, pretty much. But it's actually, yeah, it's more fun than it sounds. I find, like, you kind of get to know the players that they have, and like they all have their own little quirks and their personalities that you can kind of tell the story of through the commentary. Like, it's good practice for the rugby and everything in terms of finding new ways to describe what's happening in the process. But currently, I can tell you that Carter Gordon, he's had a shocker of a game. So, but do you speak Indian? I do not. And also, actually, I think we should leave you to it until you're ready to share his day with the mod there. But yeah, I have to find out, because I know that he does have it on WhatsApp. I'm not sure what his YouTube channel is, though. I just pretty much know that the WhatsApp does have it. I don't really know how to use WhatsApp now that I think about it. What is WhatsApp? That's just kind of like Messenger, but with numbers, isn't it? Gonna be another knock on. These conditions are impossible to play in at the moment, and it's just rough. Like, it's a live action replay about 15 times so far. And also, do you get people asking you to show the game in this? I mean, luckily I do have permission to show the game because they film it all themselves. So luckily I can show replays and all sorts. Like, I get into it. I put the replays in. I kind of add the transitions and whatnot. It's very wet there at the moment. I'm kind of I feel like this game had the potential, and it's just sitting here. We've had about 15 scrums in the second half. 10 handling errors per side almost. Currently 13 points difference. Right. Harry Wilson back to Tate McDermott. Can we get some face play going here? Take it nicely. Right. Rainu, run at the line and don't stop running till you get tackled. He's been tackled. Just a little bit out from his own line there. Back across. It's a big man, Tamati, Ioane, and also we have got the other game is good until the second half. It's show game. There's says Aaron Spencer. Yeah, the game was going so well, and then the rain started falling, and now it's been very tricky. James O'Connor now firing across to Filippo Dalgunu, flicks it out the back to Josh Fluke now. Bit of a step going through the middle, slippery man. 43 meters out now. Going back now, Tate McDermott to the short side. Daniela Tupou looking for the offload. Wasn't a knock on. Maybe not. Filippo Dalgunu going back was Rainu and Stacey Ely trying to stop him from making any extra meters. I believe both of those men play for Hawke's Bay. Another Bunnings NBC, the Ramfurly Shield champions. Fraser Mac right now trying to get up, go again. 40 out. Daniela Tupou, quick little step there. Straight on the ball. Haylett Petty. I think Ross Haylett Petty has been able to turn that one over. And the Rebels have taken this ball back. Tate McDermott tries to hit it down. It's another advantage. He's quite jammy. Tate McDermott in the way that he kind of sneaks around and tries to tap it out. It's like when he tries to kick the man's hand when he is about to pass it out of the back of the scrum. Kicking for touch from Jock Campbell. It's a very good kick. It's a very, very, very good kick there. And that one now is going to be going into touch. 14 minutes left. I just hope for another try. In the second half, I don't think we can ask for too much more than that. Go Rebels and their idiosyncrasy. And there is a cool word you can use in your commentary. It roughly means traits, habits, or characteristics. Tell you what, David, I'm going to have to get you maybe like involved in the script if you know all those big words. I feel like you'll have to tell me how to pronounce them, of course. But they'll be very impressed. They'll be like, geez, that's a huge word from him. And that one, like normally he just says, oh, what a shot that was. That's going to be kicked him behind. Setting up now. Nicely done. Ball on the inside dropped. That was nice from Tuamapea. I think it just went wrong again. Another drop ball. It's very wet in the moment. Filippo Dalgunu kicks it in behind. Ball sits up for him. This is looking good now. Taniela Tupou, I believe he was in front at the time that went through, so they would have to check that. That's playing the man on the ground, bouncing back up to his feet. Ball comes free. The Rebels steal it now. It's only 2 tackles for the Rebels. Surely that is BS. And also Reds will come back down to earth once they meet the New Zealand teams. And there's Vivi Toilet. Kicking it in behind now. Oh, don't dive like that. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Joshua Fluke now kicking this one for the 50-22. Not quite able to find the touchline. Now Carter Gordon, a man who probably more than likely would like to forget this performance. Crusaders win by 10 points. There's Power Force. And the Chiefs also winning by 10 points in that game. Currently, the Reds, they are winning this one by 13. Dalgunu doing very nicely. The way that he was able to just put that one in behind Taniela Tupou, you wouldn't expect to see the big prop chasing after that one. But it's very, very wet. I don't know how they're going to go if they have any other games at Suncorp coming up. In fact, we can check that because we are smart and we will go like this and this and that. There we go. So the next game, that's Scotland and Italy. Maybe we're not that smart. There we go. That's the one that we're after. So they have got, okay, they've got till the 12th of March to try and sort out the pitch because it's getting roughed up big time. Aaron's pulling all the girls at the club as well. Says Millie Toilet. Not hugely, no. I want to say, and it's entertaining in my eyes. And there says, and also well done with the stuff I had to take care of as I were the games. They are some personal impressions. So, first game, Chiefs versus Highlanders. Sam Cane said himself, felt like a little bit of a preseason game, but an offload and a half from it was Brodie Retallick. Like, if you get a chance to see those highlights, just flicks it out the back, goes and gets the Chiefs. Do you want to know the results as well, Sebastian, or do you just want to know kind of a summary of what happened in the games, and I'll leave the results for yourself? Do let me know. Drop ball. Penalty now in favour of the Rebels, and also you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You're super bright. I used to listen to Murray Mixed on Sky TV back in the day. He thrashed the dictionary while doing commentary on rugby games, and there. Okay, David Durr just asking the question, and that is not ideal. And there's his Millie Toilet. Penalties conceded 8 against the Reds, 6 against the Rebels. Handling errors would be insane. And can we please not drop the ball? We have killed them in the second half. Yeah, it's been all Rebels with the ball in hand, but they just keep on putting it down, unfortunately. Now going for the corner once again. Time of the opposition, 22. 3 minutes, 43 here for the Rebels. 1 try, though. Total visits 5. Can they go on and get themselves another try here? And it's gone from tons of penalties to tons of knock-ons to tons of kicks, and now it's wet. This is Aaron Spencer. I feel like that summarizes the game so well. This stage, but now the Rebels may be able to score themselves a drop the ball again. This is hard to watch. I truly believe Aussie go Rebels, and also I've already seen the results. Just wondered about how things unfolded in more detail. Who stood out the most? So in that first game, who was it? The Chiefs fullback, Amoni Narawa, actually did very nicely there. And he was able to really stand up for the Chiefs. Josh Ioane did decent at 10 as well for them. Then Hurricanes versus Crusaders was pretty back and forth. It never quite seemed like the game was over, even though the Crusaders led for a majority of that game. Angus Scott Young got bumped off there, but he has been playing for Bay of Plenty. Then he got a knee in the face just in case he didn't already feel that last one. And FC says it was there from Irish Spencer. And then the last game, the Reds and the Rebels, it's pouring down with rain. And we've seen a Hoipa drop ball and a Hoipa scrum reset. It's currently only 9 minutes left when the Black Caps next match, Hamish, it is going to be next Friday that it is going to be taking place. And that will be 11 a.m. And it is the test match knock-ons. It's Irish Spencer and the Crusaders were under pressure when the Hurricanes got 5 penalties at their try line as well. Yeah, there were 3 yellow cards in that one. And Irish, will you do more streams of rugby games tonight or not? Says Coding. So there will be no more tonight. I wanted to do Saracens versus Harlequins. No, sorry, Harlequins versus Wasps. But they decided they want to show Bath versus Leicester here in New Zealand, which is a shame because I wanted to see the Harlequins take on the Wasps because that game's like pretty much no one can split them in the betting odds, which means that will be an outstanding game. Another penalty to the Reds, not terrible. We like a penalty because they get down the field a little bit more and not going Cesar Spencer there. And also, I will cook a roast tonight if we can manage to not see, or we can not see game or not see another game. And I assume that from your reactions in the comments, that this game has been quite untidy. Yep. Like, that's the thing. Normally, like, I'm not too bad in terms of if a game isn't going anywhere, I can still make it work. But this one's been rough. Like, they just don't seem to want to hang on to the ball at all. Like, and to be fair, the conditions are pretty much like dreadful, to say it lightly. They are not nice. Like, it's pissing down with rain. And it's just, yeah, it's been an interesting one. We had more chilled out time on this live stream, so we've probably just had a bit more of a chat about general things. I was telling them about my table tennis. I'm doing a bit of commentary for an Indian village for their table tennis competition. Auntie Cindy needs to come down and say, I said, the toilet, that's going to be another penalty there for the Rebels. And now Nolan going to come off the field. Ross Haylett-Petty making his way out there. Currently 13 points difference between these two sides. And also, well, surprised the Reds haven't fully pumped the Rebels, but a win is a win if they hold out Melbourne. And Sammy Sosa. And, yeah, I think in a perfect world, if this game wasn't raining, I think the Reds would have done a lot better because they were good in the first half and then it started raining from halftime onwards. And this game just completely changed. It's so slippery out there at Suncorp. But someone who's played very well in this game, I will mention, it's definitely going to be Brad Wilkin. And someone do something but a knock on or give a penalty. Right. The Rebels have got this one inside of the 22. Going forward. Matt Phillip now only sitting a few meters out. Going to be available. Well handled by Carter Gordon. Flat ball to Ray Nu'u. Stepping his way through. Can we get a try here? That looked like almost a knock on. That was a knock on. That might have been about 3 knock ons in a row for Tuttle. Offloading the ball back. Carter Gordon with the step now. Once again trying to step, but he has been dragged down. And ironically, the Rebels are peaking late here. It's going into touch. Advantage for the Reds. Scrumpy. And also peaking late here. I like the draw last night, says Sammy Sosa. Yeah, it seems to be, I guess, the more game time that some of these teams get. That was Alex Murphy kicking the ball. I've seen Taniela Tupou kick the ball. Alex Murphy kicked the ball. I think Harry Wilson's kicked the ball as well. As I drop all these balls, but afterwards in the showers. Won't drop the soap once. Priorities, lads. There's Lax Axel there. But currently 5 minutes left in this game. Tate McDermott, he is the captain of the Reds. It's the scrum half 100th game for James O'Connor. And just get the ball stopped. Doing all this with waiting in the ruck. Here's Hamish Spencer there. It's another free kick. It's a penalty if you want it. They've got the penalty now. I don't know what's going on in this game. That man, someone stole his shirt. Give him it back. He'll be getting chilly. He'll get hypothermia. And also, does the Bro Tesla drop into the stream anymore? We actually saw him earlier on the Hurricanes Crusaders live stream. He did pop in and say hello, which was pretty cool. I'd love seeing all you guys who have been there in the past who just pop in every once in a while. Say, hi, these idiots. Professional just pick the scrum as well. Says Amy Spencer. Cheers. Right. 5 minutes. What about Lex Axel? Is on there? Here's Smithy Toilet. Yeah, Lex Axel, he's been around for quite a while as well. I think back in I want to say the Rainbow Cup days, but I could have the wrong date. Though it must be an odd game with the downpour out there. Yeah, it's been... Like, looking at it, if it wasn't raining, like, these players would be getting crucified by the crowd. But currently the crowd are underwater, so they can't really say too much. Because it's hard to... Oh! Jeez. Angus Gardner just got run into. This pretty rough from Harry Wilson. He just steamrolled over the referee. And then from there, he ended up saying to the referee, why were you there, rather than, are you all right? And I don't want to offend any Aussies. When they increased the super teams, they thinned the talent. As back in the day where the Waratahs played the Reds, it was just as good as the Origin game. Tell you what, Angus Gardner's been cleaned up pretty well there. And also, I always support you, Amish, says Lax Axel, and it is hugely appreciated. And also, best thing all night, says Amish Spencer. But currently 3 minutes left now, and also the bro is here. And there's Smithy Toilet. So, yeah, we have got the occasional pop in. Johnny Blake's been popping in today. Rio Gamer. Haven't seen him for a little while, but I'm sure that we will see him in the coming weeks. Have to ask him about as you, Harry Wilson, now off the back decides instead to use the back line here. 3 minutes left for the Rebels. Try and get themselves one try because that would give them the bonus point. Hashtag Kiwi Lads for life. And the NRL has just taken all our juniors. And there says Hamish Spencer. Currently, phase after phase. Angus Scott Young driven backwards in the tackle. Nicely done. Back to his feet. John O'Well's not able to get it now around the side. It's Hamish Stewart being very quiet in the midfield. But saying that, anytime they try and use their back line, just hasn't quite been working out. Harry Wilson now building up phases here once again for the Reds. Playing the advantage now. McDermott trying to go straight up the middle. Oh, brutal for that one. Now firing it back. It's going to be dropped. To go backwards, they will be going back for the original penalty. And hashtag Kiwi Lads for life with the 10 out of 10. And every schoolboy ends up in rugby league. And they fall and have never been seen again. I haven't seen the bro Rio Gamer in ages as well. Says Smithy John, and I'm glad that I'm active on the Kiwi Lads channel when we hit 10K. Says Smithy John. Yeah, we are getting closer and closer every single day at the moment, which is absolutely insane. And Steve Moneybag Smith says David Mod, although we haven't seen him for a couple months. So I hope he is all right. Because, yeah, I get worried when I haven't seen someone for a few months or a few weeks even, if they are on every single live stream. There was another one from earlier on. I'm trying to think of the channel name. Although I think actually, no, never mind. They just changed the channel name for that one. But yeah, as long as he's all right, I am fine with it. But I just hope that he is. Because anytime someone disappears for a wee while, I always worry. And I sit there going, whatever happened to him? And also can't do much when the NRL is popular along other sports and public schools, while union and private ones are over there in Aussie land as well. And I was usually popping every month at this point and starting to get active now. What happened to Gurav? He ended up leaving for some reason. He was there and then he all of a sudden wasn't, because he learned how to say more than just out. Currently tries, they have been hard to come by. Alex Murphy shut down nicely. Filippo Dalgunu close to the touchline. Driven backwards once again now. Now going back across. It's going to be Fraser McWright. Drops the ball. It did go backwards though. Currently 30 seconds left. Going to be Alex Murphy. James O'Connor. Backline movement. Step there from Josh Fluke. Little bit of a banana kick. Sits up for Hunter by Sami. No, it's Josh Fluke. No, it's not. It's Jock Campbell. And he scores a try at the end of the game. And born in Scotland. Lives in Australia at the moment, from what I know. And there isn't Steve Smith Scottish. He is indeed. And also I wasn't here for a few weeks. Says Amish Spencer. I think they're checking this one upstairs, and I remember that I used to make every live stream, man. And there says Smithy Toilet. Although to be fair, we used to do a lot less live streams. And also I blocked he knows you did, Amish Spencer. You put it in the chat before. And then we get bloody hold the ball. We win. And also do you remember the bro Willy Wonka? Or Willy Wonka. It was actually someone, wasn't it? It was a regular. I can't quite remember. That was just slippery out there. And Jock Campbell in the end scores the try. All clear is the call there. And okay, says David the Mob there. And also born in Scotland. Scotland's a nice place, isn't it? I love to go to Murrayfield. And yeah, Willy Wonka. I feel like we've had so many classic moments over the year and a bit that we've been doing YouTube. And it feels weird to say, but like a few years down the track, if we're still, I'd like to still be going, of course, but if YouTube's not a thing anymore, which would be a shame. But if you guys are still around as well, I feel like we'll look back on those ones and just kind of, what's it called? Not reinvest, but just kind of reconcile. Is that the word? That's a fancy word. I've seen Katie Dixon in a stream lately, says Xavier. It is because these ones are always middle of the night for her. But if we are at a decent hour, she was here for the very first live stream today for a little bit of time. I witnessed some crazy stuff in my line of work recently. It takes a toll, as a lot of it confidential. I love to pop in every now and then, says Lax Axel. Missed that one away to the side, and that is going to be the end of this game. And the Reds end up getting the win by 18 points, 23 points to 5 now. and James O'Connor for his 100th game. They have been able to bring up their own win, and everyone's been coming out of the woodwork today. And there's this David in the Wild. See, we're back into Super Rugby, and I called one, and I got called one-eye flog at work the other day. Nice. Were you talking about golf, or were you just talking about in general? And they were just like, hey, randomly, you're one-eye. Oh, did you say the Waratahs are good or something? Maybe. Along those lines. And also probably by second or third week, the Drua will find their bearings and be settled, although I'm only guessing same with the other teams peaking late this weekend. So yeah. Moana Pacifica, another team that they'll be a little bit more behind since they didn't get to play up against the Blues in their first game. So their next game up against the Chiefs might be a little bit of a tough one. The Tongan Thor says Laxax, so he's been very good in this game. Scoring a try, getting a yellow card, sitting on the baby seat, which was literally a baby seat. It was tiny, putting a big man like Tongan Thor on it. Then after that, coming back out onto the field, putting in a couple of big hits, getting penalised, going down in the scrum, making the other guy go down in the scrum, and then going off the field. And yes, there was a reconciliation. I was the right word there, and no, I was driving the buggy and ran over someone's ball. You know, that would probably annoy someone, I would think. And ref looks shocked. We gave them the win. Well, the Reds looked shocking. We gave them a win, yeah. And dry conditions could have been a completely different game for this matchup, but sadly just kept on pouring. I came across this channel from the old Rugby Challenge 4 videos. See, that's the thing. Like, the Rugby Challenge was I guess not spur of the moment, but I was just like, hey, Rugby Challenge 4 is coming out. And I was like to George, do you think I should do some videos? And he was like, nah. I was like, oh, I might try a couple. And if I didn't say, oh, I might try a couple, this may not have been here. So, I mean, I don't normally go against George in terms of like, if he says not to do something, I don't normally do it anyway. But that was one thing that I was like, I'm just going to try it, see how it goes, and hope for the best. And cheer didn't break under Tupo. A good day at the office. And what a journey, brothers. And also before jumping on the streams in those 2020 Rugby Challenge, or sorry, that would have been the Rugby Championship streams in there. But yeah, it's a long process where we've got to, but it's just flown by as well. So McDermott, he had to work hard out there. And what do you think of performance of the game? Rebels play poor, says Barry Green. I would say yes, but the weather had something to do with it for that second half. They were right in it at halftime. Then they just couldn't hang on to the ball in that second half. It just kept on flying down with the rain. And then I called it a flop. Oh, they got called a flop because overcooked the bacon at the Daily Friday barbecue. And then also, which is the top All Blacks and Black Caps of all time, according to you. Top All Blacks, normally it is maybe someone along the lines of maybe Taniela Tupou. No, sorry, no. That was my brain just because I was thinking of Taniela Tupou just then. Richie McCaw, Dan Carter, John Olomu, they are probably the top three that a lot of people would say. And then also it would be for the Black Caps wise, you got someone like Sir Richard Hadley would be a very good shout. And I'll please forgive me. Says Amy Spencer. And also, what about Saxon's being very quiet? Then Hoppy probably run out of accounts as well, unfortunately for him. And also, no doubt, Moana will be in for a tough one against the Chiefs. Yep, definitely right. And that is going to be the first game that will be taking place next week. We go like this, and we go like this. We might as well show you guys exactly what games are going to be taking place next week. We've got some good ones. We're covering every single one of them on the channel, alongside the 3 Six Nations fixtures in the middle of the night. I am not going to be doing much sleeping, but hopefully we will be able to find the time to sleep throughout the day and the night as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. I feel like it's been more of a chilled out live stream, but it's been quite nice being able to chat to you guys. Man of the match, I would give it, I mean, if the Rebels won, I would have given it to Brad Wilkin. Because they didn't win, I'll probably end up giving it to maybe either Harry Wilson or maybe, I mean, you can't really give it to a guy with a yellow card, though, and Taniela Tupou, can you? And also, we've got that almost at 10K subs. You will get there, Kiwi lads, says Barry. I mean, even getting the first 1,000 was something that we didn't see happening till probably after now, like when we first started. So it's just huge. A great banter, as well, says Lax Axel there. And yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe Super Rugby AU just becomes our slightly chilled out, just chatting time, I guess, each week. A knock-ons, man of the match. And yeah, there were a lot of them. And so the Waratahs is top of the ladder in round one. They are, although we've still got the Brumbies versus Western Force. That will be tomorrow at 4 p.m. Going to do a review of the game. I'm so mad and sad right now. Says Xavier Brown. I did see your video earlier on. I actually watched both of your videos, the one about Michael Hooper being the GOAT, and then also the other one, which was what you want in a rugby video game. And I do like the way you're thinking. Voice going there. Says Barry Green. It is indeed starting to disappear after, I believe this is our about 9th hour of live streaming, if not 10th hour today. And then we did about 10 hours yesterday as well. So I think it's starting to take a bit of a toll on the vocal cords. Loves the stream hamburgers. Says like Zach Hill. And no Super Rugby AU is the best. Super Rugby in there. Says AMO Spencer. But yeah, nonetheless, tomorrow, 4 p.m., we are going to be covering the game between the Western Force and the Brumbies. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, sure leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the next